Welcome to the show, everyone. Just a couple minutes till airtime.
And one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority.
Welcome to the show. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you're new, this is the most pro-Donald Trump radio show anywhere, I promise you.
TheSoulAuthority.com. That's TheSole Authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel.
Here we
and the
go.
Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with Attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices in South Florida, including downtown Fort Lauderdale, Coral Gables, and downtown Miami. 1-855-FLA-3782.
Oh, got my
To South Florida's longest running radio
black coffee,
show,
no lattes.
To call the show toll free. Dial.
That's right. That's the number. All righty. Welcome to the show, everyone. Oh, man, it's Monday morning already. Oh, my goodness. It's the 9th of March, 2020. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. And, of course, this is the most pro-Donald Trump radio show anywhere in America and the world, for that matter. And if we want to be honest, the known universe, right? You're not going to find any program as pro-Donald Trump as this one, I promise you. You will never hear me disagree or take issue with Donald Trump. Welcome to the show. So much going on, so much to talk about. We'll talk about the news media, and what they're doing with coronavirus over the weekend, which is, we'll get into all of that. So much going on, I tell you, isn't it? This time change has me so screwed up because right now it's 5 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning. So usually this would be 5 minutes after 5 o'clock in the morning. And this would be about the time I would normally arrive at the studio. And I got to tell you, all day yesterday, I was off a little bit. I don't know if I'm a little off yet this morning, but my body clock is set like a clock, and literally. And when my body clock is off, I don't care what time the clock says. When my body clock is off, it takes me a while. By the time I adjust to this, it'll be time to change the clocks again. I can't remember which one is called which. Are we in daylight savings? Which time are we in? I get so confused. This is the one I don't like. I like where we had it, where it gets lighter earlier, right? Because I'm up so early. Now it's going to get lighter later. It's so stupid, right? It's so stupid. And yesterday I was feeling like it just had me off so much. I was feeling off and even a little depressed. Daylight savings. We're in daylight savings. Whatever. I'm in Eastern Standard Time. That's all I need to know. But I just don't like it. And the whole thing about springing forward and fall back, now since most of us use our phones, everything we have adjusts on its own, right? Yeah. Our phone, we wake up, it's all set. It's not it used to be a big deal, and if you forgot to move your clock, you were done, but now the clocks kind of move on their own since, it's just ridiculous. And I'm really off, and I know a lot of you people probably are off too, right? That's right, you people. I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but how many of you feel a little off because of all of this? All right, well, welcome to the show. There is so much going on, a lot to talk about. I want to hear your thoughts on coronavirus. I am not a health expert, so anything I say about it is in no way, shape, or form has anything to do with a professional opinion so far as health services go or medical opinions or anything. I'm just going to give you what I personally am observing watching the news. And what I am seeing is the news media causing Americans to be in a state of panic, a heightened anxiety, and it seems more politically motivated than public service health motivated. the Democrats, the mainstream media, they're talking about how Trump needs to cancel the Trump rallies, but you don't hear them talking about Biden or Bernie Sanders canceling anything. Oh, they can just do it, but Trump, he needs to stop. Yeah. And some of the audio sound bites I have this morning for the mainstream media, including Chuck Todd, if you listen to my podcast, I had one from Chuck Todd yesterday, which I'm going to go over again today, and then I got another one that happened over on MSNBC yesterday. The media are attempting to use this as an election ploy for some desperate last-ditch attempt to try to get people to jump off the Trump train and cost Trump the election. We're going to get into all of that today. Now, my unprofessional opinion about what is going on is we are in flu season right now, and coronavirus is a flu strain, right? Is that part correct? We are in flu season, and flu season is over at the end of this month. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get flus throughout the year, and people do, but we are in flu season right now. And my guess, non-medical opinion guess, because I'm not a medical professional, but my guess would be after flu season is over in about 3 weeks, that we will see this fade away. And when we're a month out from today, 2 months out from today, this will all be forgotten. And people will look back, and because the attention span is so slow with the news cycle, it'll probably be forgotten for most people, but we'll look back and say, oh, what a bunch of hype. Now, there's been a lot talked about so far as a shortage of toilet paper. A shortage of toilet paper. You cannot get hand sanitizer. And the toilet paper shortage, I don't know how real that is. I was at Publix, I don't know if it was Friday or Saturday, and I was on the toilet paper aisle, and there was a huge empty space where there was toilet paper. So I took a picture, I put it up on Instagram as kind of a joke. And then I'm seeing these people online fighting over toilet paper in California. I'm seeing a lot of people post on social media shelves and shelves of empty toilet paper aisles. So what's going on with the toilet paper shortage that is going on in America? Well, what my guess would be is a simple one. There's two explanations to the appearance of a toilet paper shortage going on in America. Number one, if you go to the grocery store, toilet paper comes in very large packages, and shelves where there is toilet paper empty out more. Oh, by the way, people on the live stream say they see Lysol here. I always have Lysol around the studio. Okay, I always have Lysol in the radio studio. If I don't have Lysol, it's just because I'm out of Lysol and have forgotten to bring Lysol in. I always have Lysol in the studio. I all the time spray down the microphones and telephones. Even though Steve and I are the only ones that use these two facilities, I always Lysol both of our studios, all the microphones, the desks, the computers, the phone, the bathrooms, the doorknobs. I always do that. Okay, so I even though you may see Lysol behind me, it is not because of coronavirus. I always have Lysol around the studio. Okay, but and I wash my hands all the time anyway. But anyway, the toilet paper shortage, couple reasons why. Toilet paper comes in pretty big things today, and it is not unusual to be down a grocery store aisle and see empty shelves where there's toilet paper because it empties out quick. Okay, and they have to restock it. And on the weekends, they don't have the full-time stock crew there. So on the weekends in grocery stores throughout America, Saturday and Sundays are the biggest days of the grocery store, and they don't have the full-time stock crew there. You see empty shelves all the time. So that's one of the reasons there is an appearance of a toilet paper shortage. The other reason is this. I was telling my wife about this last night on my podcast. There's a lot of craziness going on so far as people trying to prepare for the pandemic that the media is hyping, coronavirus. There's not really a lot you can do prep-wise. Here in Florida, South Florida, we're in a hurricane area. And around hurricane season, we, when there's a hurricane coming, we stock up on hurricane supplies. Hurricane supplies involve food, water, and as much gasoline as you can have, right? Because these things, when a hurricane hits, electricity is out, gas stations and grocery stores, either they're not open or after the storm hits, down power lines and power outages can stop you from getting to the grocery store or the gas station and stop gas trucks from getting to gas stations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we prepare during hurricanes. Now, with coronavirus, these crazy stories that you see of people overloading on toilet paper, the reasons that people are overloading on toilet paper are two reasons. One, no one wants to run out of toilet paper. So people are going to buy extra toilet paper, which is incredibly overpriced. You see the price of toilet paper? Holy smokes. People are buying more toilet paper than normal for two reasons. One, they're afraid they'll run out, and who wants to run out of that? That's a terrible thing to run out of at home, isn't it? Oh, yeah. And the other thing is, it's a feel-good thing. People are buying extra toilet paper as kind of a security blanket, as a way to try to lower their anxiety that the media is putting them in over coronavirus. If they have stocked up on toilet paper, they've done something to prepare. So they feel, okay, there's a lot of anxiety. The media's hyping up coronavirus. I've got a lot of toilet paper now. I've done something to prepare, and it's an anxiety relief mechanism for a lot of people, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing. Okay? That's just it. Now, I know, it's craziness. We're moving into hurricane season. June 1st is hurricane season. And my wife and I are buying extra things in preparation for hurricane season, because when a hurricane comes, and we only buy things that we're going to use anyway. When hurricanes are coming down on the news, you go to the store, it's hard to get a lot of things. So we made a decision when we had some hurricanes a couple years ago, never to let that happen to us again. We're like Scarlett O'Hara. I'll never go hungry again. So when we're getting close to hurricane season, we slowly, every time we go to the store, buy a couple of things for hurricane supplies, things we would do, and we don't use them, we put them aside, so that if a hurricane does come, we have everything we need. And if you follow me online, when there's a hurricane, I follow my hurricane preparations online. I'll live stream my hurricane preparations. I am overly prepared because my wife's disabled, so I do a lot of preparation beyond what normal people would do. So, I'm overly prepared at hurricane time. But no, I'm not concerned about coronavirus at all. And I don't think most people are. I was listening to Fox early this morning when I was doing my show prep. They had some new poll on the way people feel about coronavirus, Democrats and Republicans. And they said about 30% of Democrats think this is a very serious issue that they're very concerned about. And it's like half that number of Republicans are concerned about coronavirus. There's a lot of media hype going on, largely for political reasons right now. So we'll talk about all that as the show goes on. If you'd like to call in, please do. I want to hear your thoughts on everything that's going on coronavirus related. The media coverage, the political angles, your thoughts, your fears, your lack of fear. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Those of you that have been calling, I will answer the phones during the break if you'd like to call back. 1-888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. That's right, we'll break and be back. Don't you go anywhere.
Homeowners, would you like to save money each and every month? Of course you would. We all want to save more money. But how? By calling I Will Advisors. That's how. At 954-753.
I'm answering the phones not so much during the segments and during the breaks now because I don't want every other call to be on the John. because
homeowner's
he's
policy. I Will Advisors will review
losing his
your
mind
policy
about
at
getting on the
no
air.
charge. Most homeowners never review their policy, but it should be reviewed every year. You commercial property owners, same goes for your property insurance policy. So what are you waiting for?
Yeah, what are you waiting
I
for?
Will Advisors and start saving money. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet.
That's right, it is.
In fact, mom and dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something
That's
you
black
can
coffee.
do on your own. You need expert professional help, and if your family is disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless, I'm here to tell you
Forgot
that
to shave
help
today?
is available.
I guess
Call
I
my
did.
good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery.
I bought one of these new hipster blade razors that they have displays at all the shows.
This is his personal cell phone. 561-523-4325.
Oh yeah, I have for the hurricane. I have a huge generator. I've got 2 extra air conditionings because my wife needs air conditioning. I got a portable air conditioning and a wall unit air conditioner, and I've got a bunch of 5-gallon containers of gas that I load up when it gets closer to hurricane season.
It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the Edge Recovery has options.
I'm very
for
prepared.
you. Call Sal at the Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone. 561-523-4325.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Oh man, welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Oh man, you know, we welcomed a week ago our newest sponsor to the Steve Kane Show, Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs and Any Lab Test Now of Boca. Same owners, both locations. There's a lot of Any Lab Test Nows, but there are only 2 locations advertising here on the Steve Kane Show. So to support this program, please use Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs and Any Lab Test Now of Boca Raton. No doctor's order needed, no prescription necessary. You can walk right in. You don't even need an appointment at either location. And it's a great way for you to take care of your health and take charge of it. They guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. You know, PSA tests, which every man who's age 40 years of age and above should have, PSA. It's absolutely amazing. Steve went over to Any Lab Tests Now just to have a test done just to see how it worked so he could talk about it in the commercial. And he said, let me get a PSA test. And shocker, Steve found that he had prostate cancer. I know, he found out just by doing a routine test, found out he had prostate cancer. And the good news about that, how can prostate cancer be good news? The good news is that he found out so early that his doctor told him not even to treat it. It's so early, he barely got it. There's no need to treat it at this point. But Steve got to treat it anyway and took care of it early. You know, if you miss it, and if Steve would not have had that PSA test done, he would have found out eventually he had prostate cancer, but not until it was a much more serious situation. And he found out so early, it was easy breezy. And at Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs and Any Lab Test Now of Boca, where they guarantee the lowest price on all of their thousands of lab tests. This is just to give you an example. PSA test, $49. No doctor's order, no prescription needed. Nothing goes on your medical record. It is just for you and your eyes only. Isn't that amazing? Just $49. And there's similar savings on all of their thousands of lab tests. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the corner of University Drive and Ramblewood, off of University, the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, right in the perimeter of the Coral Square Mall here in Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Western Beef Shopping Center in Sandalwood Plaza, off of State Road 7, 441, the east side of it. And I'm going to give you the number. If you have any questions, I'm going to get you both location addresses and phone numbers are listed at stevekaneshow.com. But I'm just going to give you right now the Coral Springs number, and that is 954-906-5983, 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Coral Springs and any lab test now of Boca. And when you call or stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane radio show, if you don't mind. All right, let's go to the phones. Good morning.
Dollar store, Dollar General has hundreds of rolls of toilet paper.
Sure, yeah. But is that the toilet paper you really want to use? Is it soft to the skin, or is it kind of like industrial construction paper?
Publix.
Yeah, I'm not into dollar store toilet paper.
There's all the hand sanitizers are in there.
Yeah. No, they're not, actually. I actually use hand sanitizer quite a bit. Every time I go anywhere, I keep it in the car and everything. And I went to the dollar stores around my area this week, and none of them have hand sanitizer left. So, no,
Or has it?
that's not true. But that's okay. You know, that's why if you go on Amazon, people are selling it for like, $80 a bottle of hand sanitizer now. I've heard stories.
I'm going to ask you, how about your thing on Saturday?
Are you talking about Blexit? No, I did not make it to Blexit because of a personal thing that I had. I did not make it to Blexit over the weekend. Who'd you meet?
Some guy that was there, a black guy that was there. He said there was thousands of people there.
I heard they had a huge turnout. I could not make it due to something in my personal life. Unfortunately, I wanted to go, but I couldn't make it over there. So you did not go, but you talked to a black guy who was there. Okay. Talk about second, third hand. Yeah. No, I did see. Yeah, I heard they had a great turnout. I saw some pictures. There was a lot of people registering to vote at Blexit here in Fort Lauderdale over the weekend. And I'm assuming they were registering Republican, just like the civil rights activists of the 1950s were registering Republican. Juan Williams looks like he's using that dollar store toilet paper, and he's all itchy down there.
Oh, he hates the president.
Well, it's okay to have a dissenting viewpoint on Fox News. I just don't think Juan Williams is likable. I think he always looks pissed off. He's always snarly, and he's disagreeable to be disagreeable. It's not credible disagreement. I don't think Juan Williams is a likable guy. The reason Juan Williams is on the 5 is not just because they got rid of Bob Beckel, but is Bob Beckel still alive, by the way? I haven't heard from him in a long time. Did he pass? I don't know. But Juan Williams was fired by public radio. And at the time, it was because I remember stories as if he was too conservative, and public radio got rid of him. And there was a lot of conservatives were surrounding Juan Williams because he'd been forced out of public radio, and it elevated him at Fox News, and that's kind of how he got there. And he's a jerk. A nasty man. He seems nasty. I had someone in the chat room said nasty. I think nasty is a good way to describe Juan Williams. Now, well, your phone sounds like you got your phone at the dollar store there. I got nothing against the dollar stores. I shop at the dollar stores. I don't buy food at the dollar stores. I'll tell you that. I will not eat anything at the dollar store. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just not food I'm going to consume. But I am not using dollar store toilet paper. I mean, I'd have to be desperate to be using that, because there's no way it's the high quality stuff. But yeah, Juan Williams is just a nasty guy. He is not likable. And that's his problem. And it's not just because he's a liberal, but you know what? All the liberals that they have on Fox News are that way. I catch outnumbered once or twice a week, and they have that Huff or Hoff, the one that worked for John Kerry at the State Department, Marie Huff. And then there's this skinny girl. I don't remember her name. But they're both always pissed off and nasty. And the reason that the Fox News liberals are nasty is because they are defending, in a sea of conservative voices on Fox News Channel, they are trying to defend liberal positions and anti-Trump positions that it's just absurd. And their anger is out of really their frustration and embarrassment. You know what I'm yeah, Jessica Tarloff, she's the worst. She is always pissed off. She's always nasty. She's never pleasant. She's not, I mean, it's one thing to have a debate and disagree, but she's always pissed. Isn't she? Jessica Charles, she's always pissed off. She is, her and Juan Williams, they got the same personality. It's like they transfer bodies. She's on Outnumbered, he's on The Five. Personality the same. You know, it's, I don't know. It's kind of like a bunch of Westworld robots over there. Oh, speaking of Westworld, we're coming up on a break, so I'll just say this going into the break. I saw a movie for the very first time in my life, and it's hard to believe that I've never seen this movie before, and I watched every minute of it from beginning to end Saturday night. The Magnificent Seven, the original Magnificent Seven with Charles Bronson, Yul Brynner, and Steve McQueen. And it does have an incredible music track, but I got to tell you, the Magnificent, I love Charles Bronson. I love Steve McQueen, two of the coolest guys that have ever lived. But the Magnificent Seven with Yul Brynner and them is terminally boring. It is so boring. Oh my goodness, is it boring. I'm not going to sit here and debate the Magnificent Seven, but I thought I mentioned it. Have any of you seen lately the Magnificent Seven? And I did watch the whole thing because I wanted to get, you know, again, I don't like Eli Wallach. I cannot stand Eli Wallach. I just recently saw him again in How the West Was Won, and I just can't stand Eli Wallach. He's another nasty guy. I know he plays villains, but I never liked the guy. I think he's overrated. But the Magnificent Seven is, I got to tell you, one of the most overrated movies of all time. Even though it's got so many great actors in it. You know what the thing is, what I've noticed about Hollywood? When there's a movie that has an ensemble cast with a lot of famous people, it's usually a crap movie, and they put a lot of great famous people in it to, you know, hype up something or make something seem more attractive. But the Magnificent Seven sucks. And I know, and I was watching the explanation before and after. Oh, this was Steve McQueen, made him a big star. Steve McQueen had a television show. Anyone remember? What was the name of Steve McQueen's television show? Who remembers? Anyone remember Steve McQueen's television show? Very good show. He had a television show before that. There were only 3 stations back then. So I don't know what the ratings were of Steve McQueen on TV, but that's right, Wanted Dead or Alive. Wanted Dead or Alive with Steve McQueen. The lowest week's ratings during the entire run of Steve McQueen's Wanted Dead or Alive was higher than the highest rated shows of the last 2 to 5 years, I promise you, because there are only 3 channels, right? No cable, no satellite, no streaming services. So he's a big star. But anyway, The Magnificent Seven, my review, sucks. And I don't say that about a lot of movies with a lot of great people that I like a lot. I just watched Charles Bronson in The Mechanic with Jan Michael Vincent, which is okay, but it's, you know, it's got a good ending. But man, Magnificent Seven sucks. And I don't think I'll ever watch Seven Samurai after watching The Magnificent Seven. All right, anyway, enough of reviewing the movies of the 1960s, but can anyone tell me? I know I love Westerns. I think Westerns are awesome. I love Westerns. That's right. But not The Magnificent Seven. I will never watch The Magnificent Seven ever again. Okay, let's take a break. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Indeed it is. Let's take that break. We'll be right back after this.
Old, tired, broken down? This is Dr.
Hey guys.
Mitchell Lopez of the Boca Raton Center for Age Management, and I can fix it. In 2005, we introduced South Florida to the amazing implantable hormone pellet. These safe and effective pellets will reverse the signs and symptoms of the aging
Welcome
process
everyone to the
and
show.
leave you feeling fantastic. Energy, sex drive, and weight control are just a phone call away. If you want to
Now, I always have Lysol around.
Good again, and you want to function well again,
You know,
call me, Dr.
because
Lopez,
mostly
at
for the
Boca Raton
microphones,
Center for
because
Age
you're always
Management,
putting your mouth up to these things, even though this is the only, I use this mic at home and here. I podcast with this mic. I bring it back and forth. It's in my backpack, dirty stuff.
HormoneTherapy, BocaRaton.com.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount
Subscribe
prices
if you're not
that absolutely
subscribed.
can't be beaten. Steve Gaines tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75.
Dirty
a
Dustin's
tire.
awesome.
That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops.
But Magnificent
around town.
Seven.
The price at Friendly Tire, only
I don't even think they get to the town in Mexico for about 90 minutes.
These prices are out the door and on the road.
Well, thanks, Jack.
Mounting and balancing, and no added charges.
I've never seen Magnificent Seven before. I did see the remake.
At just $30 for most cars. Call my good
But
buddy
I've
Friendly
never
Mike
seen
at
Magnificent
Friendly
Seven,
Tire.
ever.
Tell
Not
him when
in
you
its
drive,
entirety.
he will give you a great
From
low
beginning to
price
end.
right over
I
the
watched
phone.
everything.
954-977-9445.
Even the beginning credits. The music's very good.
977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100
Rawhide.
certificate to
I
Toledo,
haven't seen
Kentucky
Rawhide
Restaurant
since I was a
in Coral
kid.
Springs. The Siegel Law Group.
Rollin', rollin', rollin'.
South
Keep your
Florida,
doggies rollin'.
Plantation,
Rawhide. I'm not going to
and
sing.
Coral Springs. Call 1-855
Through rain and wind and weather, hell been for leather.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. We're talking about Westerns during the break in the chat. I was going through the lyrics of Rawhide. It's hard to do without singing it, but I'm not going to let you guys hear me sing. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Media hyping up coronavirus all weekend, trying to cause a panic, try to cause an anxiety. A lot of it very political in nature. I'm going to play a couple sound bites here in a moment that'll share what I'm saying and illustrate for you what's going on with the media. You hear the media talking a lot about Trump canceling his rallies. They want Trump to cancel his rallies. Of course, they don't want Bernie Sanders to cancel anything. They don't want Joe Biden to cancel anything. But they want Donald Trump to cancel his rallies. Shocker. And they're using this for politics. Let me play this first one here. I've got two that are on this. Let me find the first one is Chuck Todd. I can't stand Chuck Todd. Chuck Todd is so smug, so full of himself. You know, and there's a thing about Chuck Todd. I saw this a couple of times during the I watched his interview with Bernie Sanders. I'm not going to play you any of the Bernie Sanders Meet the Press clips, but if you go online and see it, you'll see what I mean. He asks a question that he thinks is just so brilliant that he gets erect listening to himself ask these questions. And he's talking to Bernie, and he does, when he asks a question that he thinks is just the question that everyone wants to ask, that he asks, the tough question, he does this little smug, and then he leans back in his chair. And I saw him, he was interviewing Bernie. Can you win the election without the endorsement of Elizabeth Warren? And then he does that, and then he leans back in his chair. And Chuck Todd, you're not asking a damn question that's any good at all. You suck. You know, you suck. Well, anyway, he screwed up yesterday on Meet the Press. Chuck Todd screwed up yesterday. There was an example many years ago, the late Ed Schultz. Remember Ed Schultz? He died a while back. Democrat radio host, and he was a Democrat host on MSNBC. And he screwed up on the radio. And was it on radio or television? It was on radio, I remember. Ed Schultz on the radio. He screwed up. And sometimes these Democrats say things on the air that they say amongst themselves off the air that they would never say on the air, but sometimes they slip up. And Ed Schultz referred to a certain demographic of Democrat voters as low information voters. Low information voters. I'd never heard that label before. Now it's a little more common because Ed Schultz, that's the way Democrats talk about average voters in private. The low information voters. You know, those stupid hicks that didn't go to Harvard, Yale, Princeton, or the Columbia School, you know, of journalism or of law. Those low information voters. And, I was like, wow, Ed Schultz. Tell us what you really think about your, Democrats that you're out there fighting for, Ed. And a similar thing happened to Chuck Todd yesterday. He has a panel on coronavirus. And Chuck Todd patting himself on the back as he's got all the brilliant questions that America wants the answers to. If America wanted the answers to your questions, Chuck Todd, you wouldn't be so lowly rated, okay? You'd be number one. America doesn't give a damn about you. My goodness. So I'm not going to characterize this too much yet. I'll just play it for you. This is Chuck Todd. He's talking about coronavirus, and he slipped and said on the air what they talk about off the air over there at NBC and in the mainstream media, and talked about what the coronavirus is really about. Chuck Todd yesterday, jerk. Listen to this.
What the Iran hostage crisis was the final year of Carter's presidency. Not his fault, but it's a test in real time. And this is what seems to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing. It's what you guys are talking about, right? It's one thing when all the Republicans in Washington say, hey, there's some crazy stuff on tax policy or this or that, but we've got it handled. It's a different thing when the president is out there leading publicly in a crisis like this, and people are seeing it in real time, taking their cues from it. There is a certain capacity for chaos in American voters. They don't like chaos. They don't like uncertainty. The markets don't like it. The voters don't like it. We don't like it in our daily lives. I'm frankly surprised that the exhaustion from that chaos has been as slow in coming as it has in the American public, but this does hold the potential, if it goes badly, to become a kind of Jimmy Carter-like scenario where the public just says, can't wake up with this anxiety every day. We got to have some kind of leadership.
Yeah, so there you have it. I've got another one, too. So, and for those that are Democrats that don't know, I had another one. Let me see. Oh, yeah, there, the Nicole Wallace one. Let me pull, hold on, I got to do something here because I will forget. I didn't transfer it over. There we go. So, what Chuck Todd, do you hear that? And then he leans back because he said the most brilliant thing that no one's ever thought of before. Does this guy not become sexually aroused at the sound of his own voice? I bet he does. He seems to me. If he can become sexually. I don't know. Maybe he can't. I don't know. Chuck Todd, the Iranian hostage crisis destroyed Jimmy Carter. There were other economic issues, too, like the gas shortage and everything else going on. But I was a little kid, and I remember it. I remember the news, day 265, America held hostage, or whatever day it was. I remember all of it. And it was a national humiliation. I was in 3rd and 4th grade during that, and I remember it very clearly. That's how big of a deal it was. So Chuck Todd, he's getting all excited, getting all aroused, saying, oh, this could be like the Iran hostage crisis corona to Trump. Everything with the Democrats, and the media are an extension of the Democrat Party, with the mainstream media and the Democrats, everything is about some scheme to try to get people to turn away from Trump because, like Ed Schultz said, they think we're a bunch of low-information voters. How many of you went to Columbia, Princeton, Harvard, Yale, or Oxford? You're a low-information voter if you didn't. And they can manipulate you because they all went to those schools, see? Kidding me? You kidding me? So, right, and he even says in the beginning of that, I didn't play the beginning of the clip, it was a discussion, they were talking about this off the air during the commercial break. So, the media, including Fox News Channel, I was very disappointed with Fox News Channel. No matter what story they had, coronavirus was wrapped into it yesterday and Saturday on the Fox News Channel. Both of them, Business and too, Fox and Fox Business. Both of them. At least the times I was watching Business. I don't watch Business as much. But Chuck Todd slipped up and admitted that they're causing an anxiety and a panic. They're trying to get a sense that people don't feel secure in the leadership to try to, and by the way, he should stop the rallies, to try to hurt Trump's reelection chances. That's what coronavirus is to these people. And they think you are a low information voter. So you'll just buy into it because Chuck Todd was, and leaning back in the chair, he said it. And then Nicole Wallace, who was a real piece of work, okay? She called, Nicole Wallace, she's over there on MSNBC. She worked for John McCain during the campaign with Sarah Palin. And she calls herself a Republican in exile. And I've thought for quite some time, there were a lot of terrible leaks coming out about Sarah Palin from the McCain campaign when she was a part of it, Sarah Palin. And now I'm starting to think Nicole Wallace was the source for all those anti-Sarah Palin leaks coming out of the McCain campaign, because she's a nasty woman. That's why she felt so at home when she was on The View. And Nicole Wallace on MSNBC, listen to her discussion. This is her discussion on coronavirus.
This may be, and Nicole, I should mention this with a little trepidation, but this may be Donald Trump's Katrina.
Yeah, you don't have to spiral in that. I mean,
Look, and they're getting all excited. Trump's Katrina.
Maybe, and Nicole, I should mention this with a little trepidation, but this may be Donald Trump's Katrina.
yeah, you don't have to spiral in that. I mean, let's just lean into that for a minute. I mean, Katrina was the moment when all of the things that felt incredibly incompetent about the Bush presidency, the appointment of Harriet Miers to the Supreme Court, the botched attempt to pass Social Security privatization. I mean, I lived it. I can go through the whole list. Were realized. We gave them a proof point that we were indeed incompetent, and also people died. I mean, this has the making structurally for the same kind of moment.
And if there's any a moment that would shake that 40%, the folks who would allow him to shoot someone and
See, here you go. See, here they go. They're trying to shake that 40%.
This has the making structurally for the same kind of moment.
And if there's any a moment that would shake that 40%, the folks who would allow him to shoot someone and write down, if there's any a moment, it's this one. Because it's babies, it's friends, it's loved ones.
It's old people in nursing homes that can't have their daughters and sons
It's
and
your
grandchildren.
nana,
Yeah.
right? And so it seems to me that this is an event that could take down a president.
I'm trying to put together both of your points.
How excited. Oh, what's yes. Oh, we're going to take you. Nicole Wallace, she's all giddy.
Yeah.
Right?
Jerk.
It seems to me that this is an event that could take down a president.
I'm trying to put together both of your points, Katrina and no adults. I mean, Katrina was ultimately overcome or survived by the fact that the adults took over, took the reins and
From Trump. From Bush.
word on rebuilding New Orleans. He kept the faith with the local workers. We were storm chasers. We went to every subsequent storm and we did better. I mean, what's the prospect? And I've read everything that the New York Times, you guys have a live,
Yeah, it goes on and on. So Nicole Wallace, this could be Trump's Katrina. Oh yeah, because it involves babies and old people. Let's keep doing. Yeah. Let me tell you, Nicole Wallace, keep talking that way, and you and Chuck Todd too. Nothing is going to get us to jump off the Trump train. In fact, President Trump, when there was the first sniffle of coronavirus in China, put in travel restrictions, and they attacked him for it. Remember Pelosi? Oh, can't do that. Can't shut down the borders. Got to keep bringing sick people. Remember that? Trump was on this like that. That was a snap. I know you guys didn't hear the snap, but I heard the snap because it was, a little far away from the mic. But, I'm not very good at snapping, especially with this damn time change. Oh, man, I hate this time change. My body clock is so screwed up. I'm not supposed to be on the air yet, according to my body clock, even though it's 6:45, 6:46 in the morning. But you can hear it right there. This is being hyped up for political purposes. Jimmy Carter's with the Iran hostage crisis. George W. Bush and Katrina, and they can't even contain their giddiness live on the air. They're so excited. It's like, Katrina! It's Trump's Katrina! Jerks. Someone in the chat said Chris Wallace had something similar. I can't stand Chris Wallace. I have no sound bites of Chris Wallace. I didn't listen. I can't stand him. So I don't know what the hell he said. He's another piece of work. All right, listen. Let's take our last break of the first hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back after this.
To proudly welcome a new sponsor to the Steve Kane Show, and it's Ace Hardware. Not just any Ace Hardware, but two special Ace Hardware stores in our area. The first is Ace Hardware, located at 365 South Federal Highway in Deerfield Beach, just a quarter mile south of Hillsborough Boulevard on the west side of Federal Highway. And Beach Ace Hardware at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea, half a block west of A1A. If you own a house or condo, you would do yourself a favor to visit one or both of these special stores. There is such a of difference shopping in these stores compared to the depot-type stores. Service and product selection is what it's all about. And they have a great selection in all their departments that will save you from running around from store to store. And you can get help from their employees who have the knowledge to always put you on the right track to get any project done, large or small. They have happy customers because of the way they treat their customers, and you will become a happy customer too. The list of what they sell is almost endless, but includes plumbing, electrical, sprinkler parts, fasteners of every kind, garden tools, including the largest selection of steel garden equipment. Plus, they are an authorized steel repair center. Let's not forget Benjamin Moore custom blended paints, major brand power tools, including Craftsman, Weber barbecue grills, plus other top-notch brands that are delivered to your home with free assembly. They have the largest selection.
He's
of
not
key
as
blanks,
pro-Trump
really
as
down to
I
the
am.
color you
I'll tell you that
choose.
right
Even
now.
the key fob remote for your doors are sold at these stores.
No one
Chrysler
is.
In the car dealer. Screens are custom made. Glass is cut to size. I could go on and on, but you get the idea. They will make your life easier and save you time and money by recommending the
He's
right
not even a
products for
registered
your job.
Republican.
Again, the two Ace
He's a
Hardware
registered
locations are
conservative.
Ace
Did he
Hardware
vote for him in the
365
primary? I don't
South
know.
Federal Highway,
No one
Jupiter
is.
Beach, just a quarter mile south of Hillsborough Boulevard.
Trish
on the
Regan's
west
all right.
side
She's
of
had too much
Federal
cosmetic
Highway.
work,
And
though,
Beach
Trish
Ace
Regan.
Hardware at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea, half a block west of A1A. Or call with any questions, 954-531-6265, 954-531-6265. And make sure to tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All right. Welcome back. I was talking to the chat room on YouTube Live during the break. By the way, if you don't, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's completely free, okay? Subscribe makes it sound like you got to pay, so it's completely free. Brian Craig on YouTube. We live stream the radio show each and every morning. Brian Craig on YouTube. There's a very active chat room there, and we talk during the break. Sometimes we were talking, and someone was implying that Sean Hannity is as much of a Trump supporter as I am. No, there is no one on the air who is as big of a supporter of President Trump as I am. And what I said to them is this: Sean Hannity is not even a registered Republican. He does this cowardly thing. I'm a registered conservative. That's right. And he can't vote in the damn New York primaries because of that. So did he vote for Trump in the primary? Has he become a Republican so he can vote for him in this primary? Please. So when he does that, then, he still wouldn't be as big of a supporter. But, hey, Hannity does good work. I'm not knocking Hannity. Hannity was under tremendous pressure in 2016 to not support Donald Trump. And others failed, like Mark Levin failed us in 2016. Glenn Beck, Mark Levin, and others failed us. And they put a lot of pressure on Sean Hannity, and he stood strong and stood by Trump. So I'm not taking anything away, but I'm telling you, he is not as pro-Donald Trump as I am. That's just my opinion. But that's all I got, or my opinion. So anyway, between Nicole Wallace and Chuck Todd on Meet the Press yesterday, I think we have lots of proof that coronavirus is being hyped up by the media to try to create an Iran hostage crisis, Katrina-like scenario for President Trump in an election year. And they also want him to stop having the rallies. That's right. Listen to this. This is, what's her, Jackie Spire, that Democrat lady from California.
You need to hear from the president, and do you think you will hear it regarding the coronavirus?
I don't think the president is capable of telling us the truth about the coronavirus, and I regret saying that. I think we have to rely on the scientists who are attempting to tell the truth even when they have to contradict the president. The fact that he is not willing to cancel his various rallies...
Oh, there you have it, the rallies!
Not willing to cancel his various rallies suggests that he is willing to place even his most ardent supporters at risk.
Okay, so why are they not calling for Biden to suspend his gatherings or Bernie Sanders to stop his? It's just Trump, right? It's all about politics. All about politics, trying to hurt him, trying to stop the rallies.
We have to rely on the scientists who are attempting to tell the truth even when they have to contradict the president. The fact that he is not willing to cancel his various rallies suggests that he is willing to place even his most ardent supporters at risk, because we're supposed to stay 6 feet away from from other persons in order to mitigate the exchange of those viruses. I think that he is showing, unfortunately, why he is so ill-prepared to guide our country during this time of crisis.
See, everything is damn politics with these creeps on the left. You know, President Trump, what he's doing with Pence is absolutely amazing. I was stunned to see Pence have that press conference here in Broward County, leading that press conference on coronavirus. He was in town meeting with the cruise line executives, and they've made some changes with the cruise lines, which are coming out over the weekend. We've heard some, and there's some more coming out. And that was the first time I had seen Pence lead a press conference that was a major press conference all by himself. All right? And it was pretty impressive. He had our governor there and others. And what President Trump is doing with Mike Pence is absolutely amazing. He has made Mike Pence, the vice president, is the apprentice. And what President Trump is doing by having Pence, there's a couple of reasons why Pence is leading the coronavirus response by the Trump administration. One, to have the vice president in charge of it instead of some scientist or doctor from the CDC or elsewhere puts an urgency to it. And at any moment in time, Pence can get the president on the phone at 1 in the afternoon or 1 in the morning because he's the vice president of the United States. So putting him in charge, putting Pence in charge of this is how serious of a situation it's being taken as by the president from the very beginning. That's number one. You put some doctor in charge of it, can they get the president on the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning if they have to? No. Pence can. But what he is doing, President Trump, on top of that, is he is allowing Pence to show what a great executive he is, what a great leader and organizer he is, so that after his second term, we will have had experience seeing Pence in action, and him becoming our nominee and our next president after President Trump's second term is just going to be a natural progression. And I've always been a little hesitant when it came to Mike Pence, simply because I hadn't seen him in action too much. And I hadn't seen too much of his personality. And since President Trump put him in charge of the coronavirus response, I've seen him twice. Once was a few days ago at the White House at the table with the president and the airline executives. And the second time was over the weekend here in South Florida when he had his press conference, Pence, with the cruise line executives. He was here to meet with the governors and our senators and all of that. And he is really impressive. I have zero reservations about Pence, and I'm very excited in 2024 to have him as our nominee. And Trump really is, that's how many steps ahead Trump is. We always talk about how Trump's 5, 10, 15 steps ahead of everybody else. He shut down, he put in the first travel restrictions early on, even when the Democrats were, led by Nancy Pelosi, attacked him for it. He's planning the 2024 race now with Pence, letting Pence go out there and shine. You know, the president was at Mar-a-Lago over the weekend here in South Florida. He could have had that press conference with Pence and the governor and our senators and the cruise line executives and everyone else, but he let Pence do it, who was literally right down the street. Okay? And that's amazing that he did that. Most presidents wouldn't because they're egomaniacs, not Trump. He's great at hiring the best, and he delegates, and definitely Mike Pence is the ultimate winner of The Apprentice because he's going to get the presidency out of it in 2024. So I was incredibly impressed by everything I have seen. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. Hey, how would you like to lower your mortgage payment? I got a way that most of you out there can do it, and that is calling Debbie over at I Will Advisors and asking her to review your homeowner's insurance policy. The reason I say lower your mortgage payment is most people have their homeowner's insurance attached to their mortgage payment on their home or condo, or even if they have a commercial property. And it's something that is kind of a hidden cost for most people, property insurance. It's called property and casualty. Most of us call it homeowner's insurance. it's kind of one of those hidden charges you don't see because it's connected to your mortgage payment and you don't directly pay it. You pay your mortgage, they keep your money in escrow, and then they send it in once a year for that big yearly premium to your homeowner's insurance company. Here's the thing, though. Each and every year, the homeowner insurance policies go up. They go up. And when you have a mortgage payment, your mortgage payment either goes down a few dollars a year or stays about the same. Because what happens is the more of your principal you pay off, the lower your mortgage goes down. And the insurance premium for your homeowner's insurance seems to go up at about the same rate that the mortgage is going down. So you never notice it. The mortgage just stays about the same every year. Well, if you have your homeowner's insurance policy connected to your mortgage and you lower your homeowner's insurance, you've just lowered your mortgage, people. I review my homeowner's policy each and every year. So does Steve Kane. It costs you nothing when you have Debbie from I Will Advisors do this. No matter where you are in the state of Florida, she can help you at I Will Advisors. By the way, she can do the same for your auto insurance policy. But you should review your homeowner's insurance policy each and every year. Cost you nothing. Even if you make a change, you're only going to save money. So call Debbie. You can call right now if you're listening early in the morning or overnights. Call, leave a message, and they will call you back during business hours. If you're local in South Florida, Debbie and her team from I Will Advisors can come to you if you can't go to them. But no matter where you are, from Key West all the way through the Panhandle in Florida, they can help you. 954-753-8080. And as hurricane season is right around the corner, make sure you have the proper coverage you need in case a hurricane hits. You know, once a hurricane is on the news coming down Hurricane Alley, it's too late. So when you have her review your policy, make sure you have her review your coverage in case a hurricane strikes. Make sure everything you want covered and protected is. Okay? People have shock hit after a hurricane and find out this wasn't covered, that wasn't covered. Run through the list of things you want to make sure are covered with Debbie from I Will Advisors, just to be on the safe side. Cost you nothing to do it. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. I Will Advisors listed with all of our sponsors at stevekaneshow.com. But again, the number 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere.
0.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service at Friendly Tire on both new tires and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going for that one, man. Everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man. And Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
Donald Trump here. You're listening to the most pro-Donald Trump radio show in America, The Steve Kane Show. I love this show. Melania and I listen all the time. There's no better way to get the word out about your business than advertising here. Make America great again and advertise your business on The Steve Kane Show.
Thank you, President Trump. Call 1-888-GO-KANE1. That's 888-465-2631. Meet with me, Brian Craig, and Steve Kane, and we will be hearing about you and your business on the longest-running radio show in Florida, The Steve Kane Show, 888-465-2631.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio. Since 1977, it is the first week of this daylight savings time nonsense. It's now 4 minutes after 7, but before we switched our clocks, this very moment in time was 4 minutes after 6, and my body is so messed up because today I woke up at 3:30 with the alarm. I usually wake up before the alarm, but I woke up today with the alarm because my body clock, which doesn't get set and spring forward and fall back every year, my body clock at 3:30 said, no, Brian, it's 2:30. No, the clock, no, the government, they changed the time. No, my body is saying no, it's 2:30, not 3:30, and it sucks. I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 has begun. Again, my name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. This is also the most pro-Donald Trump radio show anywhere. In the first hour, we were talking about how the mainstream media are hyping up coronavirus in America as a way to have, well, a crisis for President Trump that can try to screw him over. Because everything is a scheme, right? Stormy Daniels and Michael Avenatti, the Mueller report, the Mueller investigation, Russian interference. After Soleimani, we were going to have World War III. We were going to have a recession a week or two ago. They're hyping this up as a way, it's an election tag. He's got to cancel his rallies. Of course, Bernie doesn't have to cancel anything. Biden doesn't have to cancel anything. But Trump, he needs to cancel his rallies. Those rallies are dangerous. The Bernie Biden ones, that's fine. It says here, this is the Gateway Pundit that I'm sharing, and they have, Fox News stories and everything here. 15, this is what they're saying here. 15 of 21 coronavirus deaths. Let me start over. Again, my body clock. This is terrible. Let me start over with that one. Gateway Pundit, thegatewaypundit.com. 15 of 21 coronavirus deaths in the United States were at Life Care Senior Center in Washington State. The center went from 120 to 63 residents in recent weeks. Did you know that 15 of the 21 deaths were at that one senior care center in Washington State? I did not know that. The number of coronavirus deaths in the U.S. climbed to at least 21 on Sunday. 18 coronavirus deaths were in Washington State. So 18 of 21. 15 of those deaths at the Life Care Senior Center in Seattle. 70 of the 180 employees show symptoms. The number of residents went from 120 to 63 in recent weeks. 1/3 of their staff tested sick with the coronavirus. I did not know it was that much. USnews.com reporting this. The two most recent deaths occurred Friday, health officials said. One was a woman in her 70s, the other a woman in her 80s. Both were residents of Life Care Center in Kirkland, the nursing home that has been the epicenter of the outbreak and connected to 14 of the deaths. These numbers go up and down 1 or 2 based on developments. The nursing home held its first media briefing Saturday, announcing that since February 19th, 26, it goes on and on, but I did not realize the vast majority came from that senior center. Wow. Yeah, I mean, you know, everything with the media is a manipulation. It's a manipulation. They want to manipulate you so you will jump off the Trump train. Oh, man. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. Toll-free call from anywhere, no matter where you were listening to the program. You can call us toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Did any of you catch the Hillary Clinton Hulu documentary? I tried to watch it. I did. I tried twice, actually, to watch it. I put it on Friday because it dropped to Hulu on Friday. They had an introduction segment that was very short where they try to make Hillary look human, and then they go to the opening credits. I couldn't even get through the opening credits. It was so disgusting to me. So then, a second time over the weekend, I was like, well, you know what? I want to talk about this Hillary documentary on Hulu on the air, so let me watch it again. I sat down, I finished the credits, which were disgusting, and then I saw the opening moments, and I couldn't get through 2 minutes, and I shut it off. I can't watch it. I can't watch it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And, you know, the thing with this Hillary documentary, they talk about this in the beginning segment of it. It's all about making her likable to people. That's the major theme. They talk about it. Hillary Clinton has been on the national stage since 1991. She's been on the national stage for 30 years. 30 years. If they don't like you after 30 years, Hillary, they are never going to like you. You are not Bill. People used to love Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was a charming guy that was very likable. His wife wasn't. She never was. They used to talk about things with Clinton called the charm offensive. Remember the charm offensive? Haven't heard that phrase in a while. You know, Bill Clinton was a likable, charming guy. Even when he was being accused of terrible things, he still had a likable quality to him. There was never a moment for Hillary to be likable. And it really started with that, I could be like Tammy Wynette, stand by my man. I'm not Tammy Wynette. I can stay home and make the cookies. That was the beginning of the end for Hillary Clinton. She never recovered from it. Just like Michelle Obama, for the first time in my life, I'm really proud of my country. Remember all these moments. And here's what's going on. Joe Biden is stumbling in a way that is just god-awful. And there's obviously been a major move by the Democrat machine to give him the nomination. You have people that were calling him a racist a few weeks ago, Kamala Harris, now endorsing him. And there has been a change in plans for the Democrat National Convention. Now, several weeks ago, the plan was to bring Romney there and do a brokered with Romney. Here's the new plan for the Democrats. They're stealing the nomination from Bernie Sanders, no doubt about it. The Democrat machine is all about it. They are going to go to the convention with really a sad front runner here in Joe Biden. I mean, I really feel bad for this guy. I'll play some of the clips today. I don't play the clips of his slips that much. It's sad that his wife would let him run this way. But I guess she wants to be first lady so bad, she's letting her husband go out there and be humiliated. And it's sad. I feel sorry for Joe Biden. I don't like him. I don't agree with him on anything. But he was vice president of the United States of America. He deserves some dignity. And him going out there, not even being able to say his own name, come on. Sad. It's elder abuse. So here's the new plan for the Democrats. The Hulu documentary launch on Friday was the first phase of this. Have Biden come in at the convention to beat Bernie and announce that his running mate is going to be Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden are going to be the nominees of the Democrat Party, is my prediction today. I can be very wrong about this, but Biden-Hillary ticket. Hillary's plan is one of two possibilities. One, they get the nomination, the campaign starts, and Joe Biden is so out of it. These screw-ups over the weekend, it's getting worse for Biden because there's more pressure on him. It's a two-man race now. After the convention, there's two phases to this with Hillary. Two possibilities. One, after the convention and they're the nominee, he has to step down because of his mental slips. And boom, they plug her in. She's already got the nomination for the bottom of the ticket. She's the nominee. That's it. Now, that's a little iffy because we've never had that happen in a campaign before. So a lot of people don't know she's nominated for vice president. Would she be able just to walk in? If that's not possible, they'll wait. Now, again, no one's beating Trump. But Hillary Clinton, at her advanced age, this is her last time that she can make a run for the presidency. So she has two opportunities, Hillary Clinton. The first one is what I just said. She's nominated at the bottom of the ticket with Joe Biden. They leave the convention. He has so many slip-ups that are becoming more and more embarrassing every day. They're getting worse. He has to step aside. She gets the nomination. If that is not possible, if they determine that is not possible, that's never happened before, so it's uncharted territory. They can say anything's possible and make it happen, the party, is for them to go to the general election. And Hillary doesn't view them as losers. They view themselves as winners. They win the presidency. And Joe Biden, due to his mental capacity, has to step aside, and Hillary Clinton, by default, moves from the vice presidency to the presidency. She has two opportunities. That is what Hillary Clinton is planning right now. And that is what the party is planning right now. And they think coronavirus is going to do so much damage to Trump that he's beatable. Again, these are not people that are dealing in the reality that we live in. They're dealing in Hillary. This is Hillary land, Hillary world, not reality. But that's what's going on with Hillary Clinton. And I when you watch that Hulu documentary, I don't know if you can get into it more than I did. I'm not exaggerating. I couldn't get 5 minutes into the thing, including the opening credits. I couldn't get 5 minutes into it. They've got her so filled with Botox, and it's the launch of a campaign. It's so obvious in the first segment. So anyway, that's what's in play here. I know Amy Klobuchar is indicating that they promised her the vice presidency. Well, they may have promised it to her to get her to drop out, okay? But they don't plan on giving it to her. They may have told her that to get her to drop out and endorse Biden, but Hillary Clinton is going to be the nominee for vice president with Joe Biden. That's the plan. All right, 16 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. We'll take our break and be back. Don't you go anywhere.
3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Be right back,
guys. This is Steve Kane. I'm here chatting with Dr. Troy Lemaski, my personal chiropractor. Dr. Troy, how are you today?
Doing well, Steve.
Chiropractic is an art. All the nerves in your body go through your spine. If your spine's out of line, the nerves get pinched, and of course you're going to have all kinds of symptoms and all kinds of pain as a result of that. And until you get that spine realigned, you're going to be in pain.
100%.
Be right back,
if
guys.
you have a joint, especially in your back, that's stuck, that's not moving properly, it will put pressure not only possibly on nerves, but more of the time on soft tissue structures such as the ligaments, the muscles, and it will create pressure. There are nerves within the joint called mechanoreceptors, and they will affect the actual nerves that are in the joint. Pinched nerves are very common, and they do come from spinal misalignments, but not everybody that has a problem has a pinched nerve.
I've been seeing you for a relatively short period of time, and you have the healing touch, I'll tell you that. When I walk out of your office, I feel like a whole new person. I know you take great care of everybody, but I know you're going to go that extra mile for our wonderful Steve Kane listeners. Doctor, give them the number of the office where they can make an appointment.
It's Coast Chiropractic Injury and Wellness Center, and the phone number is 954-463-3036. 954-463-3036. We're located in East Fort Lauderdale. We're just one block east of US 1 and Oakland Park Boulevard, right off Middle River Drive. The address is 2510 East Oakland Park Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale.
Dr. Troy Lamaski, a great healer. Make an appointment today.
Homeowners, would you like to save money each and every month? Of course you would. We all want to save more money. But how? By calling I Will Advisors. That's how. At 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. And have their expert team review your homeowner's policy. I Will Advisors will review your policy at no charge. Most homeowners never review their policy, but it should be reviewed every year. You commercial property owners, same goes for your property insurance policy. So what are you waiting for? Call I Will Advisors and start saving money. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I just went outside during the break. And what I saw actually shocked me. It's 19 minutes after 7 o'clock in the morning. It's pitch black outside. Pitch black. I mean, it is like the dead of night out there because it's getting lighter later. How is this good? How is this a good thing? This daylight savings time change? Kids are going to school in the dark. I don't like it. It's awful out there. It's like the middle of the night. I don't like it. It sucks. Stop it. No more. Let's start a movement. There's probably already a movement to end daylight savings time, which is the one everyone... I do not like daylight savings time. Oh my goodness. I dislike daylight savings time. It is the worst. It completely just is awful. I couldn't believe how dark it is out there. And, this is the time people are driving to work and kids are going to school. And, that's when you want more light on the highway. When people are, I haven't been out, I don't go out on the roads in rush hour traffic very often because I'm at work well before that. And by the time I get off work, the big rush is gone. Although there's still a lot of traffic, but the big rush is gone. And what's going on outside right now, that I would not want to have to drive in rush hour traffic with that. When I come to work early in the morning and I'm on the road around 3:45, 5 o'clock in the morning, and, sometimes I'll talk about this, I'll live stream and talk about this. That is one of the worst times to be on the road. It's dark. You've got all these idiot joggers jogging in the bike lanes. You've got all these other health nuts on their bicycles in the bike lanes. People are on the road. It's dark. They're not awake yet. Half of them are texting. Some of them coming home from the 5 a.m. bars. I'm looking outside now. It's 21 minutes after 7. I don't know what time sunrise is today. I was outside 5 minutes ago. It might as well have been 3 a.m., okay, 3:15 instead of 7:15. To be out in rush hour traffic with people that are half awake, half the women are doing their damn hair in the car. The young people that drive are texting. People are half asleep. They got the coffee. They're paying attention. And they're driving in the dark. This is bad news. This is daylight savings time is the worst. Does anyone like it? Why do we still have it? Bad news. I mean, this, and those of you driving to work at this hour in the dark, in the heavy traffic, that's just the pits, man. It's just not, It's not good. All right, so anyway, the media hyping up coronavirus, Joe Biden. So I was talking about before the break, in the first segment of this hour, that the plan is for Joe Biden to win the nomination with his running mate for vice president being Hillary Clinton, and because of his mental problems and slippage, either drop out before the presidential race or drop out early on in the presidency, if not the president-elect era, and Hillary Clinton becomes the president. Yeah, that's again, you're not dealing with sane people here. You're dealing with the Clintons and the Clinton machine, and this is how they view things. And even if Trump wasn't running, even if we had some boring Jeb Bush type running, I don't think Joe Biden could win even against Jeb, because the way that he's carrying on. I mean, this is one from over the weekend. He messes up on his own name.
So, folks, you want to nominate a Democrat, a lifelong Democrat, a proud Democrat, and a Biden-Obama Democrat. Join us.
Wow, he's got his own name wrong. And of course, this one, President Trump, this next one they're saying is altered. It is not altered. Now, they do cut it off at the end, but every soundbite's got an end. The nature of a soundbite is it's a snippet, but this one was not altered. President Trump retweeted this and says, I agree. So he agrees with Joe. This is just sad.
Turn this primary from a campaign about negative attacks into one about what we're for, because we cannot get reelected. We cannot win this reelection. Excuse me, we can only reelect Donald Trump.
We can only reelect Donald Trump. That's Joe Biden, his endorsement of Donald Trump. And I don't find it funny. I know people are laughing. I don't find it funny. I find it sad. Sad. He's suffering from some type of age-related dementia. And they have him out there. And one of the, Hillary Clinton, very dangerous president. And this is an example of it. For her to see a path to the presidency through the humiliation of a former vice president of the United States tells you that she will do anything to get her spot in history as the first female president of the United States. And if Joe Biden has to go out like that to the public without even calling himself Biden, doesn't even know his own name anymore, if he has to be humiliated like that and end his career in humiliation and a babbling old confused man, well, if she gets her page in the history books, that's okay. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? It's all about me. I'm Hillary Clinton. I need to have my history book page as the first female president of the United States. She's a scary woman to me. She runs for one reason and one reason only, herself. Donald Trump didn't run for himself. Donald Trump lost a lot. He's lost hundreds of millions of dollars just on The Apprentice alone. He made $250 million off The Apprentice. He'd still be making money off The Apprentice. Just on that, he lost millions upon millions. But Hillary, it's like Elizabeth Warren. So this business with Warren, see, this is a crazy thing going on with Warren. I saw her little Saturday Night Live dance. What is the name of that actress that was playing her on Saturday Night Live? She's the one that played Hillary. That is probably one of the least talented people in the history of Saturday Night Live. I saw her in the female Ghostbusters reboot. And it was funny and humorous. I laughed. I watched it a couple of times. Elizabeth Warren doing that dance thing. I don't know what they call it now. J-Lo's doing it and all this stuff. Elizabeth Warren has not endorsed because she sees a path to something through Hillary Clinton as well. She's tight with Hillary. If you remember, in 2016, she was very tight with Hillary. They met with one another and everything. She's looking at a path to something through Hillary. She lost She came a distant third in her own state, Elizabeth Warren. And they've hyped her up as some important endorsement. When she came in third place in her own state, her endorsement is not important to anyone but her, but she's in a fight for political survival right now, Elizabeth Warren. And I'm thinking that she's withheld her... I wasn't thinking this until I saw her on Saturday Night Live, which I didn't watch. I just saw the clip on Twitter. But I haven't watched Saturday Night Live since Trump was on it. And I didn't watch it for a long time before that either. I think since Sarah Palin was on it the first time or two. But Elizabeth Warren is planning something with Hillary Clinton to be the first female something. Or the second female vice president if Hillary becomes vice president. So she's withholding her endorsement to working out some scheme with Hillary Clinton because Elizabeth Warren is very concerned about her political future in Massachusetts since she came in that distant third in the primary in Massachusetts. Everything with the left in the media is a con. Everything with the left in the media is a scheme. Nothing they do is what it appears to be. Okay? And like Hillary Clinton, Elizabeth Warren is all about herself. She don't know why she was running other than to advance herself, just like Hillary Clinton. They're both all into being history-making people. Yeah. And that Hillary documentary, which is part of her move to get the nomination at the convention with Joe Biden. Hell, she might even be going for the top of the ticket at the convention, honestly. She could. She could be a sleeper. Come in there, be at the top of the ticket, and Elizabeth Warren be at the bottom of the ticket, and have Hillary Warren. They're planning a big scheme. And that Hillary Clinton Hulu documentary, if you watch even the first couple of minutes like I did, you can tell what it's about. It's the launch of her presidential campaign. And it's not a coincidence that it happened during International Women's Day over the weekend, that it was out there. They timed it for that. Because in Hillary's mind, she's some type of role model for women. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. When we get back, there's much more to talk about. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show during this god-awful daylight savings time nonsense. Our number toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics.
It's still completely dark out.
Aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable.
I did. I didn't get a suit. I bought 2
most effective is wearing the
blazers over the weekend.
Call the Soul Authority
and some shirts.
954-597-7060
The weather's great. It's just freaking dark out.
Or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's TheSole authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear
I forgot what I was going to talk about when I got
discount
back.
prices that absolutely can't be beat. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van.
Thank you,
at
sir.
the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for
Wow.
most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
Oh, cool.
Online, friendlytire.net.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with Attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with offices throughout Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right. Welcome back. Oh, man. 7:32 in the morning, although last week it was 6:32. This damn daylight. I went out again during the break just to see if the sun was up. Pitch black. Now, it was about 3 or 4 minutes ago. I don't know. What time is sunrise today? Oh, my goodness. It's awful. Awful. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. And, you know, I was talking at the beginning of the show at 6. Coronavirus, you know, we're in flu season. We're in flu season. Flu season is over at the end of March. And my non-professional opinion, because I'm not a health professional, is that after flu season is over in 3 weeks, you'll start to see this fade away. And there's an incredible amount of hype going on, mainly for political reasons, from the mainstream media that hate Trump. I'll recap those clips in a little bit that I played in the first hour. They're very important. Okay? You're more likely to run into somebody who has Corona beer at home than has coronavirus. I mean, it's that, you know, and I'll tell you, the majority of the deaths have been from that nursing home. I was talking about it earlier in the show. But I find, you know, New York and California where most of the panic is coming from, right? New York and California are where all the panic is coming from. Do you find it at all coincidental that most of the panic is coming from those two Democrat states? You know, New York State, which goes to show you a lot of the political maneuvering going on. But I was wondering, I saw Fredo's brother, the governor of New York. You know, he's Fredo's brother from CNN, Governor Cuomo from New York, on TV a couple times over the weekend talking about the coronavirus threat and declaring a state of emergency over a handful of people in a city of, how many live in New York City? 10 million, however many millions it is. How much federal funding do they get if they declare a state of emergency over coronavirus? Is there any possibility that that in New York, declaring a state of emergency is about, one, the state getting more money to spread around to all their corrupt political friends, as well as a political move to hurt the president? You know, remember, Fredo's brother was in the Clinton cabinet. He was Secretary of House and Human, was he Housing Secretary? He was a cabinet secretary for the Clintons, Fredo's brother. So, yeah, the state of New York is probably getting millions of dollars from the federal government, just because they mentioned and declared a state of emergencies. And that, you know where that goes. And there's the political component. And, of course, California is a similar thing. Now, this poll, this is out of Reuters. I'm reading from Reuters here, which is a liberal news source. Liberals love Reuters. Americans divided on party lines over risk from coronavirus. Listen to this. Americans who now find themselves politically divided over seemingly everything are now forming two very different views of another major issue: the dangers of the new coronavirus. This is Reuters I'm reading from. Democrats are about twice as likely as Republicans to say the coronavirus poses an imminent threat to the United States, according to a Reuters poll conducted this week. And by the way, that's not because CNN and MSNBC are hyping coronavirus. Fox News has been hyping coronavirus maybe even more than CNN, right? I watched a lot of Fox News this week. I had it on in the background all weekend, and a lot. Every story had a coronavirus component to it. Back to Reuters, Democrats are about twice as likely as Republicans to say the coronavirus poses an imminent threat to the United States, according to a Reuters poll this week. Excuse me. And more Democrats than Republicans say they are taking steps to be prepared, including washing their hands more often or limiting their travel plans. Poll respondents who described themselves as Republicans and did not see the coronavirus as a threat said it still felt remote because cases had not been detected close to home and their friends and neighbors did not seem to be worried either. Cindy, who lives outside Little Rock, told Reuters, "I haven't changed a single thing. It's not a reality to me yet. It hasn't become a threat enough in my world. Many of the U.S. cases have been reported so far have been in Washington State and California. Say liberal states, Democrat states. Politics was not a factor in her view of the seriousness of the virus. She said other Republican respondents interviewed echoed that sentiment. But the political divide is none the less significant," Reuters reports. About 4 of every 10 Democrats, that's 40%, Brian Williams, said they thought the new coronavirus poses an imminent threat, compared to about 2 of every 10 Republicans. So to translate for Brian Williams, who's doing math on television live and screwing it up, 40% of Democrats think there's a threat. 20% of Republicans in this poll say there's a threat. Part of the explanation, said Robert Talese, a Vanderbilt University philosophy professor who studies political polarization, is that the political divisiveness often works in subtle ways. This is what the professor of political polarization says. That's a specialty. He says, Americans increasingly surround themselves with people who share the same political views. So partisan perceptions echo not just through the television channels people watch and websites and social media they consume, but through their friends and neighbors too. That's not why there's a difference. Fox News is hyping coronavirus like nobody's business. I was in shock, in particular yesterday, at what I consider to be a lot of irresponsible broadcasting going on by all the cable news, including Fox News. Fox News is the worst. I think there's a couple reasons why conservatives are not concerned about coronavirus and the left are concerned. There's a couple of reasons. One, conservatives are more thoughtful, common sense people. Democrats, by their nature, are emotional, right? That's part of it. Another reason is the Democrats want, there's a lot of wishful thinking. The Secret, remember The Secret? That used to be the big thing. The Secret was basically wishful thinking. If you wish it, it will come. That's The Secret. The Democrats want this to be a pandemic so bad because they view it as a path to defeat Trump in the election. That's another reason. Conservatives are more thoughtful and don't want it to be like the Democrats do. So there's a lot of convincing of themselves, Democrats. And another one is we're a country of over 300 million. Only a handful of people have this. Only a handful of that handful have died. Most of them from that nursing home out in Washington State. And the media hype, conservatives don't trust the media. Conservatives have a major distrust of the media. They're not credible with conservatives. And conservatives don't buy what the media are selling so far as coronavirus. The left live by the media and are sheeple and are being influenced. So those are the main reasons why there's such a political divide. Not because people surround themselves with people that agree with them. coronavirus, in my opinion, is not a threat. Okay, what else are they saying here? The partisan stuff is real, Reuters say. It just doesn't feel like that what's going on because our partisan selves just feel ourselves. Americans, now this is the Reuters analysis of why Democrats are twice as likely to think that there's a crisis going on with coronavirus than conservatives who don't seem that worried about it. Reuters says this: Americans who often consume news based on their political preferences have received two different views of the coronavirus's potential impact. Well, obviously, Reuters is not monitoring Fox News Channel. I know a lot of you out there are Fox News watchers. Did you not feel that Fox News Channel over the weekend was hyping coronavirus? Reuters, amid tumbling stock markets, President Donald Trump is sought to portray himself as on top of the health crisis, but he has been criticized for being overly optimistic about its impact and for sometimes incorrect statements on the science of the virus. Trump has accused the media and his political adversaries of trying to derail his re-election campaign by amping up alarm over the dangers posed by the coronavirus. He has largely sought to cast it as a completely minor threat, comparing its risks to the less deadly seasonal flu. This is Reuters, that's left wing, I'm reading from. Trump was looking at this as a problem before anyone else, and that's why he put in the travel restrictions from China early on, and the Democrats said that was a bad idea. Conservative radio host Rush Limbaugh told listeners last week that coronavirus is the common cold and was merely being weaponized as yet another element to bring down Donald Trump. Trump told Sean Hannity's Fox News on Wednesday that he thought the World Health Organization estimates of the virus death rate were a false number, that he had a hunch the rate was much lower, a fraction of 1%. The World Health Organization said coronavirus killed about 3.4% of the people who contracted it worldwide. Pelosi accused Trump on Thursday of spreading misinformation. They go on to a bunch of other things. About half of Democrats said they are washing their hands more often. Well, you know what? Maybe Democrats weren't washing their hands that much before. Maybe they didn't wash enough before. Maybe conservatives typically wash their hands more than Democrats. What does that mean? About half of Democrats said they are washing their hands more often now because of the virus, compared to about 4 in 10 Republicans who say they're washing their hands more. About 8% of Democrats said they had changed travel plans, compared to 3% of Republicans. More than half of Republicans, about 54%, said they had not altered their daily routines because of coronavirus, compared to about 40% of Democrats. Wow. Okay, so this is interesting. If most Republicans have not altered their routines at all because of coronavirus, and 40% of Democrats have, why is the spread in mostly Democrat areas among Democrats? If you look at the people that have gotten the coronavirus, while we don't have the political affiliation of them, based on where they are and who they are, most appear to be Democrats. So if most Republicans aren't washing their hands more or taking any other lifestyle changes, but 40% of Democrats are, you would think it would be more Republicans getting at the Democrats. But based on what we can see, seniors in Washington State, come on, most are Democrats. The Reuters poll was conducted online in English. It gathered responses for 1,115 American adults. Now, listen to this. Their poll. Now, this is a political poll on how people from the left and the right, Republicans and Democrats, are reacting to coronavirus. Listen to this. This poll by Reuters gathered responses from 1,115 American adults, 527 Democrats, and 396 Republicans. They oversampled Democrats, even for a poll on the coronavirus. They're saying that there's a margin of error of 3 points. Why are they oversampling Democrats by 131 or so in such a small sample? because they're trying to create a panic on coronavirus. They want the numbers to be bigger. They want to have an appearance of pandemic. They want to have an appearance. It's what's going on is irresponsible in my mind. I'm sorry. Our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. I am making no changes in my life. I would like to be able to buy some hand sanitizer because I use hand sanitizer all the time anyway. I carry, I have hand sanitizer in my car all the time, and for about the last year and a half, I've done that. And I use hand sanitizer anytime I go anywhere. I get in the car, I get out of the car. I always wash my hands when I go home. I'm not washing now hand sanitizer, I still have some running a little low, but I'm not making any lifestyle changes based on this because I'm not worried, and I don't think many people are, at least not conservatives. All right, let's take our last break of the second hour, 47 minutes after 7 o'clock in the morning. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take our break and be back right after this.
This is Adrienne Kane, Steve's daughter, and I want to tell you about my Pillow mattress.
Hey, Patrick.
I was talking to Dad, and I was telling him I wasn't sleeping at night. I was tossing and turning all night long. I had an old, worn-out, lumpy, bumpy mattress that was so uncomfortable. I wasn't getting any sleep. A couple of days later, there was a knock at the door, and it was a My Pillow mattress. I slept on it that night, and ever since I've been sleeping the whole night through. No more tossing, no more turning, and when my alarm goes off in the morning, I'm up and ready to go and well rested. Give your kids, grandkids, spouse, or yourself the gift of a good night's sleep with a MyPillow mattress. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. When you use the promo code KANE, you can save up to $300 off your MyPillow mattress. They come in all sizes, from twin to California King and every size in between. Go to mypillow.com and be sure to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and give the gift of a MyPillow mattress. Worth its weight in restful sleep.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
So you've been told you need a health test. What are you going to have to pay? Health tests can be very expensive. If you go to your doctor's office or one of the big labs, it can cost you hundreds of dollars. Sometimes I haven't had lab tests because of the cost. Then I discovered Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs' goal is to get you all the lab tests you need, save you money, and get you in and out in 15 minutes or less. At Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, you never need an appointment, no doctor's order, or prescription needed either. You can walk right in and have any of their thousands of lab tests done for just a fraction of the price the big labs or your doctor's office charge. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Private and affordable lab testing. 954-906-5983.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Yes. We're back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Yeah, Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs and Any Lab Test Now of Boca joined us last week. There are lots of Any Lab Test Nows, but the two that are advertising on the Steve Kane Radio Show, Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, Any Lab Test Now of Boca. That's where Steve and I go now for all of our lab testing. They guarantee the lowest price on all of their thousands of tests. Same owners at both locations. The Coral Springs location of Any Lab Test Now, located on the southeast corner of University Drive and Ramblewood. That's near the Coral Square Mall. Any Lab Test Now of Boca, located off of 441 in the Western Beef Shopping Center in Sandalfoot Plaza. Both locations, addresses, and phone numbers listed at stevekaneshow.com. No doctor's order needed, no prescription needed, no appointment necessary either. But if you have any questions, give them a call. Both numbers are located there. I'm going to give you the Coral Springs number now. They can help you with both locations at the Coral Springs location. Their number, 954-906-5983. Make sure you mention the Steve Kane Show when you stop in. 954-906-5983. We're talking about this hype going on in regards to coronavirus and how the media are hoping this will derail the Trump train and they'll have a path to victory over it. All right, let's go to the phones today, which are a little slow. I think the phones are slow because of the daylight savings time. I think everyone, like me, their body clocks are so messed up. I went outside again. I saw a little bit of light. I saw a whole line of cars with their headlights on at 8 minutes to 8 o'clock in the morning. It's crazy out there. Richie the bus driver, good morning.
Listen, tell everyone, keep your hands off your face. And yet people have cell phones all over the place.
Yeah, okay.
And all right, now I'm going to say something to you, and
oh, here we go.
Take it for what it's worth, because I'm not a germaphobe, okay? And I know that if you get the common flu, usually if you get the flu at a senior or my age, it's not a good thing if you're not healthy. But you know you got the flu. You know you're getting it, okay? So you got to stay away from your spouse. Are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Are healthy now. And God forbid you come in contact with somebody who has it, and you might not even know you have it. You might not show any symptoms. You might stay completely healthy for the whole time, and you bring that crap home to your wife who's a sick lady. You should be thinking about that. That's all I'm telling you.
Well, Richie, every day of the year, just so people that don't know what Richie's referencing, my wife has a very serious illness called pulmonary primary hypertension. And it's a very serious health condition. My wife is one of the 5 longest living people in the world with this illness. And part of that reason is we are overly cautious in every aspect of our life. And every day of the year, the reason I use hand sanitizer all the time, and I always have Lysol here in the studio and everything, is because we are overly careful so far as germs go. And anytime I start to get sick of any kind, a cold, a sniffle, a sore throat, anything, my wife and I immediately live separate lives until I'm better every day of the year. So I take extra precautions every day of the year, every year. And in fact, a lot of times I go to Walt Disney World all the time, right? And I'm not talking about coronavirus. I'm talking about before we even heard of coronavirus. I go to Walt Disney World a lot of times for the day with my daughter, sometimes by myself, because I got a lot of people may know I got a YouTube channel, my wife and I, where we just document our Disney World adventures. When I come home from Walt Disney World, okay, what I do when I come home from Walt Disney World, Richie?
Take a shower.
I go when I come home from Walt Disney World, first thing I do is take off my clothes, put them in the wash, and then I get in the shower. I'm not talking about coronavirus. I'm talking about before we heard of coronavirus. So I am always extra careful with everything because I don't want my wife to get sick. Now, so far as coronavirus, the vast majority of the deaths, Richie, have been from that nursing home out in Washington State.
So you'll all say,
professional.
Conditions like it's so.
That's a disclaimer. Don't you understand, Richie? That is a disclaimer because they're a medical professional. They don't want to go on television. That's a disclaimer that all the medical professionals have to say before they start giving their professional opinions on the situation.
Well, what I'm saying to you is everything you said is perfect. It makes a lot of sense. But the fact of the matter is that this particular virus, you don't know you carry it.
When do you know you have the flu?
You could start, your body starts to...
You've already got it. By the time you know you have the flu, you've already got it, and you've spread it around maybe.
Yeah, but this stuff is supposed to be so times, it is the common cold. It has to do with common cold, but it's 3 times more dangerous than the flu to catch. In other words, you catch it 3 times easier. I don't know. I'm not making hype. I know one thing. I got somebody on the block that said he was packing. He's got diabetes. His wife was elderly. He's old. I said, where you going? He says, on a cruise. I said, are you crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. There is no need, in my view, to change anything in your life. Now, again, it's always good to... I wash my hands all the time. I wash my hands... A lot of times, if you watch on the live streams, you'll see me. I leave the studio a lot during the live stream, during the commercial breaks, just so I can stretch my legs. Half the time, I've gone to the bathroom just to wash my hands. I wash my hands all the time anyway. Maybe most people don't wash their hands enough. You know what I mean? But there's no need to make any lifestyle changes right now.
Question: at what point with this thing are you going to change your mind? How bad does it have to get before you change your mind? I mean, it's supposed to double every 7 days.
Well, this is what my guess is. We are in flu season. Flu season ends at the end of March. Obviously, there's not okay, it's April 1st, no more flu. But when flu season is over, my guess would be this will fade away and we'll be looking back and laughing. Just like Stormy Daniels was a crisis, Access Hollywood was a crisis, Mueller report was a crisis, Soleimani was going to take us to the World War III with Iran. You understand what I mean? I'm going to, after...
But my
I'll give you an example, Richie, and I don't know if you were listening earlier when I played the Chuck Todd, Nicole Wallace stuff. I'm going to play it again after the top of the hour to show you the truth of what's going on here with the media. But over the weekend, I was flipping through. I don't know if it was either Netflix or Amazon Prime. And do you use any of the streaming services? Netflix or Hulu or Amazon?
I have Fire Sticks that
Okay, you use Netflix. This was either Amazon Prime or Netflix. I can't remember which one it was. I know it was one of those and not Hulu because it was a movie. Okay? What did I see as a recommended video? What do you think? Now a movie from 1995, right? Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman and freaking Kevin Spacey. So why all of a sudden, it was either Netflix or Amazon Prime, why am I getting a recommended movie on the streaming service, Outbreak, from 1995? Why do you think that is?
To scare you to death.
Exactly. It had nothing to do with my search options because I wasn't searching disaster flicks or anything, but it was either Amazon or Netflix was pushing me, and I saw it there, and what was the thumbnail? It was Kevin Spacey, Dustin Hoffman, and, who was the girl that was in that? She was in the Lethal Weapon movies. I forgot her name. They were in their yellow hazmat suits. I think it was Netflix. So the thumbnail is Outbreak 1995. And it's in the suggested movies to watch on Netflix, and the thumbnail just happens to be them in Rene Russo in their hazmat suits. Since when is Netflix recommending Kevin Spacey movies these days? And all of a sudden they got one. I mean, come on. It's exactly.
May I say something?
Why do you ask if you can say something? You always say whatever the hell you want, Richie.
You defended me last Friday.
Oh, the guy that called you a racist, yes.
All right, now I hope he's listening because I want him to know this, okay? 1988, my State Farm agent happens to be a beautiful lady and her husband. They run the business.
He's gonna tell. Are they black?
Pines.
They'll be
They're
beautiful
both
black people. Oh.
I can pick anyone I want, and I can have it up here. They're still my agent, and I live in Honky Town, okay? And I still keep these people as my agents. I could care less what color they are. They're wonderful people. This that called me what he did is wrong. And you made a statement that I'm against gays, and I love gay people. I just don't believe in gay marriage through the eyes of. That's all I say.
Okay, that's fine, Richie. Right. I know you're not a bigot. You're not a bigot. I haven't seen it. I know you're not a bigot.
It's thrown out there so easy for everybody. It's terrible.
All right, Richie the bus driver, take care. Take care. All right. It's 8:01, 2 hours down, less than an hour to go. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll take our break and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
5.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Hi, this is Dr. Mitchell Matez, and I'm here
Steve
to talk
Kane
to
Show.
you about telomeres. Telomeres are widely accepted
Hey,
in
John,
all
hold on.
scientific circles as being the marker of biological aging. The shorter your telomeres, the older you are. The telomeres shorten as we age, and the shortened, damaged telomeres lead to tissue degeneration, disease, and ultimately death. What
That's
can
right.
you do? You can take a telomere activator, a pill that activates the enzyme in your body that repairs and lengthens telomeres. There is only one available in the world that contains
Good morning,
the
everyone.
exact bioidentical DNA sequence that the body uses to accomplish this naturally, and it is called TA65. At the Boca Raton Center for Age Management, we offer the absolutely lowest price on TA65 available anywhere in the world, and I mean anywhere, folks. If you want to lengthen your telomeres, call the Boca Raton Center for Age Management at 561-953-5490. That's 561-953-5490, or visit our website, hormonetherapybocaraton.com.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a
Steve Kane Show.
$70 savings per tire. These prices are
Steve
out
Kane
the
Show.
door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Selection
Yeah, I
of
did see
Goodyear's
that.
tires, too.
Yeah, I saw that.
At just $30
I did see that.
for
All right,
those
take care.
cars. Call my good buddy Freddie Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive, and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
I'm attorney Barry Siegel with the Siegel Law Group. Do you have a revocable living trust? If not, why not? Save time, save money, and avoid probate. Just $350 if you are single, and $450 for married couples. Call me. I have 5 offices throughout South Florida. The phone number is toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. Again, 855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All right. 4 minutes after 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll take a call or two, and then I'll play for you Chuck Todd and Nicole Wallace over there at NBC and MSNBC. Let the big secret out about what the media is really up to in regards to coronavirus. Let's go first, though, to Wellington. John in Wellington, good morning.
Yes, hi, good morning, Brian.
Hey.
I just wanted to call and let you know that as far as the coronavirus is concerned, I'm not changing my lifestyle in one iota.
No.
As a matter of fact, this Friday, I'm going to be on a 10-day cruise, going on the Celebrity Reflection.
Ooh, that's nice.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's beautiful. You guys turned me on to Celebrity, and this is the only cruise line that I'll go on from now on.
Oh, I'm telling you, and now you've been on Celebrity before. You're Captain's Club, man. You come with us in December, you're all set.
I'd like to. It all depends on.
Oh, cancel whatever you got going on. You'll have a week of good times with us. I know.
Let me ask you this. The flu season is predominantly from October through March.
Correct.
It went on the last Eastern cruise in November or December?
Correct.
Okay, well, that was flu season.
Correct.
CDC estimates that as many as 56,000 people die from the flu every year during flu season. Well, I'm not going to stop everything I'm doing because the press is trying to hype some specific strain of flu.
Well, me, I'll tell you this. Okay, now when I get to you, coming up after your call, I'm going to play the audio of the media telling us what their motivations are with coronavirus. I do not get me personally, I do not get the flu shot. I don't get the flu shot. I used to get it, and every time I got it, it made me sick. And I have not gotten the flu shot in years. And, that's just me. I'm not telling anyone else not to get the flu shot. But I remember at the beginning of flu season, there was a big push. I even saw them talking about it on the 5 about getting flu shots. And I don't know if they work, if they don't. I just know I don't get them. But I promise you, next year, there's going to be a shortage of flu shots because everyone's going to run out to get them because of this scare.
Army for 20-plus years, and the flu shots back then were mandatory. And even though I got the flu shot, I still got the flu, and twice it developed into pneumonia. I asked the doctor about the flu shot, and she told me that it's only good for last year's strain of flu, and the strain that they think is going to happen.
Correct. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It was the last time I got a flu shot.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't, and I avoid antibiotics and everything else too. I'm a little nutty about that but I don't know. I haven't gotten the flu shot in many years. Anytime I've gotten the flu shot, it makes me sick the next day or two. I get sick. I have like a mild flu. Yeah, so I stopped getting it because of that. But I'm not changing. I'm not doing anything different. It's media hype.
Cruz, and they look at me like I'm crazy. Now, 1 or 2 ships have made the news with this coronavirus thing. But think of the thousands and thousands of cruise ships that leave and come back every single day. Nothing is happening on these.
Oh, and not only that, the airplanes too, which everyone agrees airplane air is the worst. Okay? And and how many... That's right, and those planes, they fly so many different plane loads of passengers each day. They're like buses, and almost every death is from that nursing home. And I'm telling you, I don't trust what's going on in New York State. I don't trust Fredo's brother up there, Governor Cuomo. I promise you, they're getting boatloads of money from the federal government by declaring a state of emergency, and there's no one can tell me that that's not a motivation for those Democrats in New York.
Of course.
All right, John. Where's your cruise going to on the Celebrity Reflection?
Cruise, and we're going to 5 different places: Antigua, St. Kitts, Barbados, St. Martin, and I can't recall the.
Oh wow, sounds great. Sounds like a good time. Yeah. Now you say you're hooked on Celebrity now. After you get, what is it that has you hooked on Celebrity? I like it that you've got about half the number of passengers on the ship as other ships of that size. You hear how many people are on these ships in the news? You got about half the number on a Celebrity ship that's even the same size, and it's yeah. And I love it. It's a way to go. Way to go. Mm-hmm. That's true. Well, I hope to see you in December. I hope you can change your plans and come. All right, John in Wellington. Yeah, thank you. So, I'm watching over the weekend. I played these clips in the first hour, but these have to be heard by everyone. And I'll just do some setup that I gave in the first hour before I play these. One is Chuck Todd and one is Nicole Wallace on what's going on here. What happened, this clip that I'm going to play for you from Chuck Todd screwed up. Chuck Todd took a discussion that they had off the air and brought it on the air on Meet the Press, and it made it to the air. And Chuck Todd and his panel had an entire discussion about what coronavirus really is to the mainstream media. All right, now with that in mind, let me play and then we'll talk about it. Chuck Todd, coronavirus talk, Meet the Press yesterday.
When the Iran hostage crisis was the final year of Carter's presidency, not his fault. It's a test in real time, and this is what seems to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing. It's what you guys are talking about, right? It's one thing when all the Republicans in Washington say, hey, he says some crazy stuff on tax policy or this or that, but we've got it here. It's a different thing when the president is out there leading publicly in a crisis like this, and people are seeing it in real time, taking their cues from it. There is a certain capacity for chaos in American voters. They don't like chaos. They don't like uncertainty. The markets don't like it. The voters don't like it. We don't like it in our daily life.
By the way, MSNBC, you and your people don't know what the hell people in America want. That's why you're number 3 in the cable news ratings. If MSNBC and their panels knew what the American people want, they wouldn't be in 3rd place. They would at least be in 2nd place. But anyway, back to it.
There is a certain capacity for chaos in American voters. They don't like chaos. They don't like uncertainty. The markets don't like it. The voters don't like it. We don't like it in our daily lives. I'm frankly surprised that the exhaustion from that chaos has been as slow in coming as it has in the American public, but this does hold the potential, if it goes badly, to become a kind of Jimmy Carter-like scenario where the public just says, can't wake up with this anxiety every day. We got to have some kind of leadership.
Yeah, so let's elect a man who doesn't know his own name, Joe Biden. Or Joe O'Biden. Oh my goodness. You know, so at the beginning of that discussion, it's not in the part of the clip I played because it went on too long. Chuck Todd actually said, we are having this discussion during the commercial break. And they carried it on the air. So it's all about, if we can keep people filled with anxiety over coronavirus, it'll be like Jimmy Carter with the Iranian hostages. And they'll say, enough, we need a change in leadership. Let's vote for Joe Biden, who said Trump should be the president over the weekend. I mean, that's exactly what's going on, okay? That's Meet the Press. Oh, yeah, Chuck Todd screwed up on that one. You're supposed to talk that way in the green room, not on the air. So then, this is Nicole Wallace, who is on MSNBC. This is her panel discussion. She's all excited, too. This Republican that worked for John McCain.
This may be, and Nicole, I should mention this with a little trepidation, but this may be Donald Trump's Katrina.
Yeah, you don't have to perfect.
Hear how excited? This may be Trump's Katrina. Party! Wow. Let's see what else they have to say, these jerks.
With a little trepidation, but this may be Donald Trump's Katrina.
Yeah, you don't have to perfect. Let's just lean into that for a minute. I mean, Katrina was the moment when all of the things that felt incredibly incompetent about the Bush presidency, the appointment of Harriet Miers to the Supreme Court, the botched attempt to pass Social Security privatization. I mean, I lived it. I can go through the whole list. Were realized. We gave them a proof point that we were indeed incompetent, and also people died. I mean, this has the making structurally for the same kind of moment.
And if there's any moment that would shake that 40%, the folks who would allow him to shoot someone and write down 50, if there's any moment, it's this one. Because it's babies, it's friends, it's loved ones.
It's old people in nursing homes that can't have their daughters and sons and grandchildren.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be Trump's Katrina. It's going to be Trump's hostage crisis. You know, I think so. This is what I think is going on here. Chuck Todd on Meet the Press on NBC and Nicole Wallace on MSNBC, I think that they're so lowly rated that basically they handle their airwaves as kind of like a Skype conference call with their supporters and activist leaders and are having like meetings on the air. And it really shows you how the mainstream media are, with their knowledge, very well aware that they're hyping something up to cause a state of panic and fear among the American people so that it will cost Trump the election. You heard Chuck Todd say it. This is insanity that's going on. You know? And those are the two sound bites of the day that every conservative radio host should be focused on. I know a lot of people are going to be talking about Biden all day, and that's important. But the main soundbite of the day is Chuck Todd and then Nicole Wallace. Because Chuck Todd was yesterday, that's Meet the Press. It's the network level, not the cable network. And he slipped. If he had to do it over again, he would not have said that on the air. And do you hear, do you hear the smile and excitement in their voices when they, this could do it, man. If more old people and kids get the sickness, well, Wow, Nicole Wallace. They can't even stop the giggling. Oh, man. All right, my name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. 16 minutes after 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll take our break. When we get back, there is more to talk about. Don't you worry. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
I want to proudly welcome a new sponsor to the Steve Kane Show, and it's Ace Hardware. Not just any Ace Hardware, but two special Ace Hardware stores in our area. The first is Ace Hardware, located at 365 South Federal Highway.
Jeff from Maine, because I want to make sure I block the right Jeff from Maine. That's the fake Jeff from Maine. Jeff from Maine, call me off the air right now and let me know which one is you and which one is the fake before I do the block, all right? Just off the air real quick, Jeff.
Compared to the depot type stores, service and product selection is what it's all about. And they have a great selection in all their departments that will save you from running around from store to store. And you can get help from their employees who have the knowledge to always put you on the right track to get any project
Well, I want
done,
Jeff from
large
Maine
or
to tell
small.
me.
They have happy customers because of the way they treat their customers, and you will be.
But I don't want to do it on the air. I want to do it off the air.
list of what they sell is almost endless, but includes plumbing.
Because Jeff from Maine
electrical,
calls
sprinkler
sometimes.
parts, fasteners of every kind, garden tools, including the largest selection of steel garden equipment. Plus, they are an authorized steel repair center. Let's not forget Benjamin Moore custom blended paints, major brand power tools, including.
But I have less than a minute left till I come back, so if you don't do it now, we'll have to wait.
That are delivered to your home with free assembly. They have the largest selection of key blanks, many down to the color you choose. Even the key fob remote for your doors are sold at these stores, priced lower than the car dealer. Screens are custom made. Glass is cut to size. I could go on, but you get the idea. They will make your life easier and save you time and money by recommending the right products for your job. Again, the two Ace Hardware locations are Ace Hardware at 365 South Federal Highway, Deerfield Beach, just a quarter-mile south of Hillsborough Boulevard on the west side of Federal Highway, and Beach Ace Hardware at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea, half a block west of A1A. Or call with any questions, 954-531-6265, 954-531-6265, and make sure to tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the Soul
The one
Authority,
without the
at
flag?
little or no cost,
Is that
you
the
can
one that's
receive
darker
your
or
own
lighter?
therapeutic shoes and custom inserts.
Okay.
Medicare recipients are entitled to one pair of quality diabetic shoes.
Let me see.
And 3 custom inserts. Call the Soul Authority today, 954-597-7060.
Okay, did I get the right one? Did I get the right one? I hope so. We have trolls pretending to be people. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Welcome back, one and all. So we have exposed the media fraud about coronavirus, which I really hope other people in the media pick up on that today. Chuck Todd, I love that thing with Chuck Todd was so great. Yeah, maybe he's just kind of trolling to find out if people really are watching his show. Kamala Harris was the front runner in the presidential election for about a week. In the first Democrat debate, she called out Joe Biden and accused him of some pretty terrible things. Listen.
It's hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of 2 United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing.
Look, everything I've done in my career, I ran because of civil rights. I continue to think we have to make fundamental changes in civil rights. And those civil rights, by the way, include not just only African Americans, but the LGBT community.
But Vice President Biden, do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing?
Okay, she goes on. Okay. So this was the first debate. Now, the second debate, Tulsi Gabbard came in and cleaned Kamala Harris's clock, and then she faded away from frontrunner status real quick. He was a very short-lived frontrunner there status. But Kamala Harris accused Joe Biden basically of being a segregationist for his opposition to busing, which is not the same thing, but she accused him of being a person who came up through the ranks praising segregationists, opposing, and there was a hardcore thing there, playing the race card against him very effectively. And after that debate, she immediately became the front runner till Tulsi Gabbard humiliated her. And she spent about a week or so, however long it was until the next debate, riding that train all over the place, accusing him of being a racist. So how could she go from accusing him of being in league with segregationists and promoting racist philosophy to this?
I just wanted you guys to know I decided that I am with great
Steve Kane Show.
I'm going to endorse Joe Biden,
Hey.
President of the United States. I believe in Joe. I really believe in him, and I've known him for a long time.
So now she believes in Joe, but before she was saying he was in league with segregationists. So how can he be in league with segregationists, and now she's with them and endorsing him, Kamala Harris? I'll tell you how in a minute, but first let's talk to Wayne. Hey, Wayne, how you doing?
Hey, Happy New Year. How you guys doing?
All right. But it's been so long. The New Year is past. We're moving up to St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I want to talk about the C virus thing that you're just brushing off. You're saying that
Steve Kane Show.
How many states is affected by the C virus?
Say that again. I was answering the phone. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I said I know you're brushing off the C virus as not a serious concern. So I'm asking you, how many states is affected by the C virus?
You talk about the coronavirus? Yeah, but probably because you couldn't remember corona. I don't know. How many states are affected by it? Okay, now give me an example of how a state is affected by it. What is your definition of a state being affected by coronavirus?
Yes.
So if a state, no, tell me, what is your standard? A state has been affected by coronavirus. What must happen for a state, by your definition, Wayne, to be affected by it?
If you have more than one people that is affected by it,
More than one people?
is regarded.
If more than one person is affected, well, what is your definition of being affected? What does being affected mean? The state is affected by it. More than one person is affected by it. What does that mean? What is?
Because one individual can distribute it through the population.
Through the populate? They can distribute it through. One person can distribute it through the populate? What that?
Concern.
The populate. It's a concern.
So we have 34 states that is affected. 528 people themselves affected by it.
Yeah.
But you're going to just brush it off as it's not.
Well, I'm sorry that I'm not in a panic. Okay, so Florida is one of the states that's been affected by it, correct? Florida. Excuse me. Florida is one of the states affected by the coronavirus. Tell me, how many? 2. How many people are in Florida?
Couple million is probably.
A couple million? There's a couple million more. There's more than that in South Florida. 2 people in a state of million. Florida is about to become, in a couple of years, the most populated state. I thought you were telling me this is something to be worried about. How many people died crossing the street in Florida this weekend? I don't know. I saw an accident in the news today down on the Palmetto that more young people than that were killed on the Palmetto Expressway over the weekend. 2 have died in Florida from the coronavirus. Okay, you're telling me. More people than that died on the Palmetto Expressway over the weekend. In Miami. Should we avoid the Palmetto Expressway?
I hope your audience is listening to your talk.
I hope they're listening too. We're on the radio. We want people listening to the radio to listen. More people died on the Palmetto Expressway this weekend than have died from coronavirus. Should people avoid the Palmetto Expressway because people died on it over the weekend?
If you want to use a corollary, you can use that. What everybody knows that we have a problem. Today, they're calling it this Black Monday because Wall Street start acting up. And when we have idiots like you who's not doing anything to help to control it, just think like everything is okay. 2 people have died in Florida. They have throughout the states too. And you're going to tell me it's all okay?
2 people is nothing. This is a state of many millions. There was, listen to this. Oh my goodness. Hold on a second here. Listen to this. Listen to this, Wayne. Listen to this. Miami Herald. I know you've got a problem. We're going to beat you in the election again. But listen, Miami Herald. Listen to this. Excuse me, Wayne. I want to read something to you from the Miami Herald. I don't want to mute you. I want you to participate in the conversation. Okay? This is the Miami Herald. Right now, I just checked it right now. For the second consecutive morning, part of the Palmetto Expressway was shut down after an overnight crash involving a fatality. Monday's crash forced eastbound State Road 826 traffic off the highway since 2:30 a.m. Okay, so we've had 2 days in a row of deadly crashes on the Palmetto Expressway in Miami. Should people avoid the Palmetto? We had deaths yesterday on the Palmetto Expressway. We had a death this morning on the Palmetto Expressway. There may be a pandemic of deaths on the Palmetto Expressway by these numbers. More people have died on the Palmetto than from coronavirus in the state. Should people be concerned about driving on the Palmetto Expressway, Wayne?
To be concerned about driving?
Well, hold on. No. Hold on. You said 2 people died in the state of Florida that has many millions of people in it. Okay? Based on these statistics, you're more likely to die on the Palmetto Expressway than in the state of Florida. Because you're talking about statewide. We're just talking about one road. 2 days in a row, fatalities on the Palmetto. Are you more likely to die in Florida on the Palmetto by these numbers or from the coronavirus?
It's like that. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I should be ashamed. I know.
Tell the audience and the audience and you're talking all this crap.
I'm asking you your opinion. Which is more dangerous to Floridians? Coronavirus or the Palmetto Expressway? Where more have died. More have died on the Palmetto this weekend than from coronavirus.
You can put a goddamn cat.
Oh, excuse me. Could you not take the Lord's name in vain and use the profanity, please? Good morning. You're on the radio. Hey, Jeff in Maine. Oh, my goodness.
That guy's crazy.
No doubt about it. Well, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
Hey, I am the Jeff from Maine that has the flag with the cross lit through it.
Okay. We got that taken care of. By the way, I just looked to get the latest numbers. 2 people have died in Florida from coronavirus, according to Wayne. I'll buy that number. According to the latest data, which is from 2018, Florida's population, as of 2018, 21.3 million. 2 out of 21.3 million died of something. Should that be something of concern when 2 out of 21.3 million have died of something? Should we change our lifestyles?
No. And you know that it was 1,100 people died under the swine flu under Obama administration, and not a boo about nothing about talking about that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, in the Palmetto Expressway, I hate driving on the Palmetto. You South Florida people, you know. We've had 4 people die on the Palmetto in the last couple of days on this stretch of road. So you're more likely, according to the statistically, because we're just talking about one stretch of road, many people drive on the Palmetto every day and every week, but not 21.3 million. So it seems the Palmetto Expressway is more dangerous than coronavirus for Floridians, based on these numbers. Well, we're talking about one stretch. On one stretch of road, the Palmetto Expressway in Miami, 4 have died over the weekend in separate accidents. 3 and 1, and then another one early this morning. So, we got 2 in the whole state from coronavirus.
And the coronavirus is only being politically motivated to try to hurt Trump.
Correct. All right, Jeff and Maine, I got to run for a break, but I'm glad we cleared that other thing up. Take care. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Don't go anywhere.
I'm here chatting with Dr. Troy Lemaski, my personal chiropractor. Dr. Troy, how are you today?
Doing well, Steve.
Chiropractic is an art. All the nerves in your body go through your spine. If your spine's out of line, the nerves get pinched, and of course you're going to have all kinds of symptoms and all kinds of pain as a result of that. And until you get that spine realigned,
make sure you guys subscribe.
Correct. If you have a joint, especially in your back, that's stuck, that's not moving properly, it will put pressure not only possibly on nerves, but more of the time on soft tissue structures such as the ligaments, the muscles, and it will create pressure. There are nerves within the joint called mechanoreceptors, and they will affect the actual nerves that are in the joint. Pinch nerves are very common, and they do come from spinal alignment, but not everybody that has a problem has a pinch nerve.
I've been seeing you for a relatively short period of time, and you have the healing touch, I'll tell you that. When I walk out of your office, I feel like a whole new person. I know you take great care of everybody, but I know you're going to go that extra mile for our wonderful Steve Kane listeners. Doctor, give them the number of the office where they can make an appointment.
It's Coast Chiropractic Injury and Wellness Center, and the phone number is 954-463-3036. 954-463-3036. We're located in East Fort Lauderdale. We're just one block of US 1 and Oakland Park Boulevard, right off Middle River Drive. The address is 2510 East Oakland Park Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale.
Dr. Troy Lemaski, a great healer. Make an appointment today.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with Attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with offices throughout Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. And on the line, it's time for our health report from Simply Natural in Sunrise, just north of Sunset Strip on the east side of University Drive. We have Richard Pearl. Richard Pearl, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm good. Steve was telling me he stopped by your store over the weekend.
Came in, I was actually doing my own radio show. I'm on the same station Saturdays from 12 to 1, and they replay me on Sundays 12 to 1 p.m. But he came in while I was doing the show, so I was a little surprised happily.
Yeah.
And we had a good time afterwards. In fact, I put him on the air for a moment.
Oh, great. I didn't know you have you actually broadcast from your store, Simply Natural. I did not know that.
The only problem is we get a lot of customers all day long, so sometimes I will run away from people because no matter what, I don't have the proper setup where I can diffuse the sound. So I'll end up running in a corner somewhere and continuing.
Yeah, that happens. So what's going on in the world of health, supplements, and nutraceuticals this week?
Well, there's a couple things. I thought I'd bring up something kind of obscure but meaningful to so many people's lives. The whole thing about health is to improve your quality, to have something that adds to your life. So there's a product called Shilajit or Shilajit. You can pronounce it either way. It's also known as mineral pitch, and it's a process where plant matter and minerals kind of break down, or the plant matter breaks down on the minerals, becomes like this black tar substance, and it's found in the Himalayas, and now they're finding it in other countries. But it has huge benefits for health. One is brain function. So many people are concerned. I made mention last week about my dad's situation that he died of Alzheimer's, but there's great benefit for brain function and also anti-aging. And so they've looked at the compounds in it. They've looked at fulvic acid, which is one of the compounds in Sheila J, and they've looked at it from an antioxidant standpoint and an anti-inflammatory aspect as well. So it has a huge impact as far as aging, huge impact, brain fat function, even people for antiviral. Obviously, there's some concerns about viruses right now. It has huge research that's been done on antiviral effects on using Sheila J. Even people with chronic fatigue, which also has certain aspects of viral attached to it. People with concerns about their liver health, they found that it works against certain types of cancer cells, heart health. There's so many different things. You could even look at male fertility and testosterone, obesity. There's a lot of areas that improve by using Sheila J. Again, you can pronounce it Sheila J, it doesn't matter. But we've been carrying for years as Simply Natural, but it's kind of got a resurgence because people are starting to realize all the studies are supporting the value of it. It's remarkable.
Well, I'll tell you, Richard Pearl at Simply Natural in Sunrise, which is immediately north of Sunset Strip on the east side of University Drive. What's the name of that shopping center you're in, Richard?
Plaza.
Okay, University Plaza. One thing I really like about Richard Pearl is that you're a solutions-based guy. What I mean by that is, if there's something about you that you want to improve health-wise, when you talk about supplements, you're talking about do I want to improve my memory, my immune system? Do I got a problem with this? Do I have a problem with that? I guess your philosophy is to provide people with nutraceuticals, provide people with supplements that address the things in their body that they want to change and make better. And I think that's what it's all about.
Well, I mean, it's like anything else. I work for you. My nature is to solve problems.
Yeah.
Interested in the effort. I'm only interested.
So if you have a problem that you don't hear, I don't mean personal problems. We have a therapist for that, Dr. Lemaski. If you have a health issue that you don't hear Richard Pearl talk about specifically, either on his show, which is on our station at noontime on weekends, or during his health report segments, but you have another issue, call him, talk to him, tell him what your health issue is, what you want to make feel better or be better about yourself. You don't have to go, and he'll, I promise you, have a solution for you. Give him a call, 954-741-4045. They have great hours, open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., 954-741-4045. That's Richard Pearl over at Simply Natural in Sunrise, just north of Sunset Strip on the east side of University Drive. All right, Richard Pearl, we will talk tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care. Yeah. Okay, so I'm so glad Jamaican Wayne called in with it. But by the way, I don't believe he has that accent anymore. I think he's Jamaican, but I think he's been in America since like 1980. He's lost that accent a long time ago. He plays it up on the air, maybe just to disguise his identity. I don't know. But he said 2 people have died in Florida from coronavirus. We are a state of 21.3 million, according to the latest data of 2018, which, by the way, that's more than that now. And I was talking to him about these terrible, I sometimes have to drive on the Palmetto Expressway, and I hate it. I have to take, my wife's doctor is down in Miami. We have to take the Palmetto, and I hate it. It's so bad. So listen to this. 3 Weston residents in their 20s died in an overnight crash in the shadow of the Northwest 58th Street exit of the Palmetto Expressway. Terrible. 2 21-year-olds and a 20-year-old. And there were some other injuries. So 1 accident, 3 dead. That's just awful. That's just terrible. And then this morning, there's been another death in a separate accident. So we have 4 deaths on the Palmetto Expressway in a 2-day period, maybe even hours-wise less than that. Less than 48 hours, separate incidents, 4 deaths on the Palmetto Expressway. Would it be rational? Would it be a rational decision for drivers that take the Palmetto Expressway to and from work each morning to seek an alternate route? Who would do that? First off, you really can't seek an alternate route. If that's the way you take, that's the way you got to take. Everybody knows how crazy those roads on there. If someone said to you, I'm not going to take the Palmetto anymore. There were 4 deaths in 48 hours, less than 48 hours over the weekend. There's no way. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Would you think that was a rational decision? Of course not. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. You got to take that way. It's the way you get to work. It's the way you get home. To take any other way would add, God only knows how much time to your trip in the Miami traffic. It's a madhouse down there. So why would people be making lifestyle changes? And that's just, by the way, I don't know how many thousands drive on that stretch of road every day, but why are they expecting us to change everything about our lives, spend boatloads of money on supplies, change vacations, change travel plans, do this, do that, don't go to work? Because 2 in a state of over 21 million have passed away of something. Is that rational? 21.3 million are driving on the Palmetto every week. I know a lot do, but nowhere near that number, because that's the whole state population. Of course not. Those clips I played from Nicole Wallace and Chuck Todd from Meet the Press show you exactly what is in play here. What the media are doing is what they were doing with the Mueller report, what they were doing with Avenatti and Stormy Daniels, what they were doing with everything they do. They're trying to get people to jump off the Trump train. I'm not changing anything. And I'll tell you this. Over the weekend, those of you joining us on the Steve Kane Cruise, December 6th, on the Celebrity Edge out of Fort Lauderdale, I bought some new clothes for the cruise. I didn't go out to buy clothes for the cruise, but I was at the Sawgrass Mills Mall with my wife and mother-in-law, and they said, oh, let's go look at the clothes over here. So I went in, and there were some good deals on some blazers. I wanted to get some new sports jackets. So I bought 2 sports jackets, and I bought like 3 or 4 shirts to go with the 2 sports jackets, so I can wear the same sports jackets a couple nights and just change. And they're pretty slick. I put a picture of one of them up on my Instagram and Twitter. If you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, they're both kind of like velvety. I don't know what they are. One's blue, one's black. They're really nice and slick. And I went shopping with my wife and mother-in-law, picked out some shirts. Everything was on sale. That's why I bought it so early. So, I'm not changing anything. I got my cruise clothes. I'm buying my cruise. We're 9 months out. I'm prepping, man. I'm prepping by buying clothes for the trip. There are certain things that are rational and irrational, okay? And you know, we're not in Italy, we're not in South Korea, and we're not in the Wuhan province. We're in the United States of America, okay? And you can't compare the situations in these third world countries to us. I know a lot of people say, well, Italy is not a third world country. What do they do in Italy that makes Americans uncomfortable? What do they do? They're kissing everybody. Men kiss men. They kiss women. Women kiss women. Everyone's hugging and kissing everybody, even that they don't know on the streets. They, hey, how you doing? They kiss with the lips. With the lips. And they put their mouth on both sides of the face. Has anyone speculated that what's going on in Italy is because they're kissing each other all over the face all the time? And as much as we wash our hands, most of us only wash our face once a day when we shower in the morning, right? I wash my hands every day of the week, all the time. I've washed my hands probably 6 or 7 times this morning, but I do that every morning, even though there was no coronavirus. I'm always washing my hands. I'm like Howard Hughes. Steve will tell you, I'm a germ freak. Always have been. You know? But in Italy, they're all, and not only that, not only are they all kissing each other, it's a Catholic nation where everyone is going to church and taking communion from the communion cup. So when they're not kissing each other, they're drinking from the same cups in their church. I stopped, I take communion, but the body and the blood of Christ, when I go to Mass, I stopped taking the blood, the wine, years ago, because You know, when I took communion, I know, and this happened early. I've been a Catholic less than 10 years. My first year of being a Catholic, I stopped drinking the wine at communion. Pope says you don't have to take the wine. And the reason is, I talked about this on the air. I'd go to Mass on Sunday, and very often, Monday mornings, I would have the beginnings of a cold or a sore throat, and I called it the holy virus. I was getting it from the cup during Holy Communion. Oh, they use a high content of alcohol wine, and they wipe it off with a little napkin. But I found on Mondays I was waking up with a sore throat and a cold. Oftentimes, I stopped drinking the wine with the Holy Communion, and that problem ended. So Italy's problem is they're getting it from kissing each other all over the faces all the time with everybody, and the communion cups. That's where it's coming from in Italy. I promise you. If the Centers for Disease Control went to Italy and started to test the communion cups, that's probably the number one place that things are happening in Italy. All right, let's take our last break of the show. My name's Brian. This is The Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere.
Paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Denture wearers, are messy adhesives ruining the taste of your food? Is it painful for you to eat? Does the constant denture movement affect your speech? Are you always worried that your dentures will fall out while you're talking or laughing? Do you have sore spots? You are not alone. These are common problems that can be solved simply with dental implants. This is Steve Kane, and I want to introduce you to Brighton Dental Care, where the Kane family goes for all our dental needs. Brighton Dental Care doesn't want cost to stop you from being able to eat the foods you love again and live in comfort. That's why, for Steve Kane listeners, they're offering implants, get this, for just $3,500. That includes 2 implants plus a lower denture. Now, if you go to a dentist in Boca or in Aventura, they're going to charge you $6,000 for the exact same implants and denture. That's right, $6,000, but at Brighton Dental Care, just $3,500, and that includes the 2 implants plus your lower denture. Laugh and live with confidence. Call Brighton Dental Care at 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633, and online at brightondentalcare.com. Be sure to ask about special discounts for our military veterans.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
I'll talk about the Pence thing again after the break. How ridiculous. Welcome back, everyone. It is Monday. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. But you know who's got us beat by 10 years? That's William Youngerman over at William Youngerman Incorporated, who's been in business since 1967. William Youngerman, good
Good morning, Brian.
How are the metals doing today?
The markets, the financial markets of the world are literally in a panic. And the panic has spilled over into the precious metals. Gold closing out last week up $1.30 on Friday at $1,673.10. That was after it got up to a $1,692 price. Silver closed out the week at $17.33. Platinum closed up $38 on Friday at $903, while palladium closed up $8 at $24.51. Today, a whole big change has taken place. We've got the gold overnight hitting over $1,700 an ounce. That was our predicted price of $1,700. We got up to $1,704 before it turned around and went back down. And currently, gold trading at $1,677.10. That's only up $4 after being up over $25. Silver down 47 cents after being up to 1768 overnight. It's at 1684, down 47 cents. Silver now trading at close to a 100-to-1 ratio to gold. Platinum down $34 at $8.69, and palladium down $147 at $23.04. This is all on the heels of the Dow Jones now expected to open over 1,300 points lower this morning, with the NASDAQ expected to open over 400 points lower. Oil, big cause of all this, is down $9.80 this morning to $31.50 a barrel. That's a number we haven't seen in a long time, as people are, as the oil is expected to be a big glut with people not traveling, the airlines not hardly moving, etc. 10-year low on the 10-year bond, the lowest ever, 0.45% yield on the 10-year bond, with the 30-year bond under 1%, and the U.S. dollar index now down to 95.95. This is what I call panic mode.
Yeah.
High $1,404 currently.
You know, when it comes to the metals, I never worry because, you know, when you look at the Dow and the NASDAQ, you know, what will a company do? Will it be here? Will people want this? What I do know about the metals is that gold has been currency for 5,000 plus years, and it'll be currency in 5,000 plus more years from now. So I never worry about the metals. Up, down, it's always, to me, it's always an opportunity, right? It's in my view with the metals, because they ain't going nowhere, you know what I'm talking about? Listen, give William Youngerman a call and have the relaxation that people in the metals have. 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, online, WilliamYoungerman.com. And, of course, you can stop right in Boca Raton, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You'll find William Youngerman's location on the first floor of the Bank of America building. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, absolutely will. Oh, man, yeah. So, you know, somebody in the chat on YouTube had mentioned this. By the way, we live stream the Steve Kane Show each and every morning live on YouTube. Just search Brian Craig on YouTube, my YouTube channel, subscribe. There is a very active chat room in there, and you can watch the show on your mobile device, your computer, even on your television, as I know a lot of you do watch us on television. There's a very active chat room in there. And I love the chat room on YouTube Live better than other streaming services we've used, because the way that the chat bubble comes up, it's easier for me to read while I'm broadcasting than on some of the others. But someone in there I saw during the break was talking about how Trump is putting Pence out there. See, this is a big thing with the mainstream media and the left, that President Trump is allowing Pence to take the lead on coronavirus because he doesn't want anything to do with it. So when it turns out to be a fail, blame Pence. Not at all. Everything is fine. Everything is under control. And I was talking about this at the beginning of the show, and it's very important what's going on with the vice president and the president. What the president is doing with the vice president is allowing him to show the American people what a great executive he is, a take-charge guy he is, and he is as responsible and competent that even the president is, so that when 2024 comes around, President Trump, sadly, will be term limited out of a third term. And when Mike Pence becomes the nominee of the Republican Party, we're going to see how the ultimate apprentice, right, because he's the apprentice to the president, did during all of this. And my opinion on Pence has totally changed since this coronavirus story, because before this, I was a little reluctant. I trust Pence because Trump trusts Pence, but I really didn't see him in action. I know he was governor. A lot of people are governors. Bill Clinton was a governor. I didn't live in Indiana, so I don't know. Didn't really get to see him in action. I have been so impressed, and there's been two moments in the last week I've seen Pence in action. He had his press conference here in Florida over the weekend, which he was leading. Trump's at Mar-a-Lago, right up the road. He let Pence take the lead. He did a great job. And then last week there was a meeting at the White House that the president was at as well with the airlines executives there. And you could see right there, Pence is on top of everything. He is as competent as Trump is, Mike Pence, and that's saying a lot because President Trump is pretty competent. Pence is as close to being Trump as you possibly can be, and I'm so impressed by the way Mike Pence has handled everything in regards to the coronavirus issue. He's doing a great job. And I'll be very confident in 2024 when he's our nominee voting for him because I'm seeing him in action during a crisis, really, because this is a crisis. And it's not just a crisis, it's a PR crisis. They got to deal with all kinds of things. He's doing a great job. Oh, man, I got to tell you. Are you not impressed by Vice President Pence? You know, this is really one of the first times I've seen, most vice presidents don't do much of anything. Dick Cheney did because Bush was, checked out half the time at GW. But usually vice presidents, it's just a ceremonial office. They don't do much. They come out with the president at press conferences. I've never seen a vice president so independently be put in charge of something and take over like this. And there's not been when you see him, how he's handling this, he knows everything that's going on about everything. And he brings a calm to you, doesn't he, Pence? Because he's so competent. How could you question his competency? He's doing an incredible, incredible job. Listen, my name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We are live in Morning Drive, weekday mornings, from 6 until 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. You can listen to us on your mobile device, on the iHeartRadio app, which is free to download, or the TuneIn app. You can download both of those apps at no charge. And search for us by our station call letters, WWNN. That's 2 W's and 2 N's on both the iHeartRadio app and the TuneIn app. Here on the radio in South Florida, we are live at Morning Drive from 6 until 9 a.m., Monday through Friday, with an overnight rebroadcast, midnight till 6 a.m., 7 nights a week. And we broadcast on 4 radio stations, 1 a.m. and 3 FM stations. So Monday through Friday, you can listen to us midnight till 9 a.m., Monday through Friday. Weekends, just midnight to 6. Live 6 to 9 a.m. on AM 1470, 103.9 FM, 96.9 FM, and 95.3 on the FM dial. That's AM 1470, 103.9, 96.9, and 95.3 FM. Those are our radio stations we broadcast live on. And for more information, visit our website, SteveKaneShow.com. All right, guys, take care. Again, my name is Brian Craig. Steve will be back with us tomorrow, and we'll see you Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. Have a great day, everyone.
103.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
All right, guys, you take care. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. All right, I'll see you guys later. Take care.